Pub Sports Radio is very excited to announce the dates for Pubapalooza 4. The most exciting weekend of the gambling year. Round 1 of March Madness. It's all going down in San Antonio, Texas at the Southtown 101, Thursday the 20th till Sunday the 23rd. It's going down, baby.
Scheduled events every day that weekend. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's all going down in Southtown 101. Come hang out with some of your favorite Pub Sports Radio personalities.
Oof, I can't wait. Meet us in Texas, baby. It's going down. Welcome all to NFL Pub Hub, our final NFL Pub Hub of the regular season. Playoff Pub Hub starts next week. Thank you guys for joining us. There is a lot on the line, a ton on the line. The NFL Cappers contest on Pub Sports Radio also on the line. Can Nunya get home? He's 1-0 this week. He's 1-0 this week. He's got 4 games left. He's at 53 points. He's a point and a half ahead of C, 2 points ahead of Guillermo Zertucci. Will Nunya be our champion, our third Cappers contest champion, following in the footsteps of Peter Loshak in season 1? In season 2, it was Guillermo Zertucci and Sharpie. What an incredible performance back-to-back by Guillermo Zertucci. So a lot on the line for our friend Nunya. Great to see all of you guys in the chat. Justin McKelvey getting his plays of the days rolling. Stacks is in. We got notable injury news. You know, I accomplished my task of lower volume this week. Although I feel like I certainly left money on the table on a couple of these unders. Although the weather does seem a little better today than we had expected when we did our show on Wednesday, January 1st. Great to see all the Cappers in the chat. Justin McKelvey, Gerald Jones, Nicholas Handy, NJ Striker, Sancho ready to go. Vikings money line for Sancho. Rick J ready to get to work. Old E in the house. Saturated, ready to roll. Lex Steele, Josh Ballard, Harold Williams, Dustin H, 66 Slammy, Wine Time, James H, Aditya Day, T-Moss. Everybody ready to roll. Jared JB in the house. Slatsy as well. Harold Williams moving on the Lions. Great to see all of you guys. A monstrous day ahead of us and a great show here for you. We have 7 Cappers, 8 because Jose is going to be rocking and giving us best bet at the end. Best bets. Sounds like he's got more than one as well. And I only have 6 bets on today's card. Just 6 bets. We do have our promos with sports books there at the top. Hit the link. You can find out which promos work best for you. You put in your province or state, and they will take care of you. Also, imperative for you guys to know that it does help us out. We get a bonus, but we do not get a cent off of anybody's losses. We want you to destroy. Some companies get paid when their followers lose. We don't. We want you to milk these bookies, and hopefully we do as well. Cap is on the screen. Only 6 bets for me on the Week 18 card, which I'm happy with. Falcons, first half, -4.5, -102. Falcons, double result. Chiefs, team total over 13.5. We're going to go over all of the resting, all of the issues here at play for each team. Mike Evans, over 91.5 receiving yards. That's at 100 or 101.5 right now. We talked about how that would balloon up. He needs 85.5 to reach 1,000 yards for the 11th consecutive year to tie the great Jerry Rice. He needs 85.5. We talked about that heavy on Wednesday. Patriots +3.5 and Giants +2.5. There were bets I just had to make. Now, the Patriots is a little different because I have them for the worst record in the NFL, which they have right now. That's at +320, $400 on that. So this is just a $300 middle, hopefully a middle at +3.5, -115. Giants +2.5, -115. I just had to pull the trigger. I was waiting on that all week. So That's it. Now, there are, the Bills under that Troy gave out on Wednesday at 38. It's now down to 34.5. There's spots that I could have moved on that, but didn't. That's okay. I'm okay with it. We got Coin in the house. Kong's clips. Sorry to hear, my man. Sorry to hear, man. Sorry to hear that you're going through that. Prayers for your friend's family. Absolutely, my friend. And sorry to hear that that your friend is going through that. But thankful to have you here with us, rocking with us. Nasty Nate says, Bill smash. Look, I want them to. But I've had great success with these plus 3.5 middles at the end of the season or at the end of big scores. And I'm going to do it here. A lot of love going out for our friend Kong and his friend. And that's important. So sorry to hear, Kong, my man. And thankful that you're rocking with us here. Harold Williams moved on that Mike Evans prop at 93.5. We got Kyle Hintley in the house. Dustin H ready to go. Yes, I know, Nasty. You guys need number 1 overall pick. I hear you. So notable injuries. Anthony Richardson is out. Joe Flacco starting. Tua Tagovailoa is expected to be unavailable. I mean, that hadn't been confirmed an hour ago, but we expect Snoop Huntley at quarterback. Brock Purdy is out. Joshua Dobbs is starting at quarterback. Matthew Stafford is resting. Jimmy Garoppolo is starting. Puka Nacua resting as well. Cooper Kupp as well. And Alvin Kamara didn't practice all week. We expect him to be out for the Saints. We expect Jamal Williams to be getting the run. Tacky JP in the house, Star Child, Spenny, Penny Bombs. Let's get to work and bring on your first guest. He has had 3 straight winning weeks here with us, weeks 13, 15, and 17. He's gone 18 and 15 over. Actually, that's, yes, 18 and 15 over that. I'm doing that math wrong. Sorry. 18 and 11. That's sorry. I'm tripping out there a little bit. It was an early morning of capping and late night of capping. So 18 and 11 over those 3 weeks he's gone with us. And that's plus about 6 units, delivering the goods. And now, with a high volume of action, a winning day today will get him in the black on our show on the year. Please welcome from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada's black and yellow steel town, star of the Ice Guys, star of Hitting the Books, and star of the NBA OG show, our friend Mr. Ian Cameron, hitting lead off for us. Bobano, how are you, my man?
I'm good, Jimmy. Ready for the final week of the regular season. Where does the NFL season go? I mean, it felt like it just started yesterday and it's finished already. Well, the regular season's finished. We still got playoffs, but looking forward to the end of the season today.
Yes. I don't want it to go, but when the NFL season starts winding down, it means Pubapalooza is on the horizon. I can't wait to hang out with everybody at the Southtown 101 in San Antonio. Let's get right to work. Bobano, my friend, we have a great show for you, by the way. Bobano hitting lead off. We have Clint, star the Die Hard MMA podcast. We have Marley, who came second last year in NFL Pub and is our clear runaway leader this year. We have Just My 2 Cents, Billy Brisbane, Guns, and Dabby Cab. And then we have our friend Jose Bouquet closing it up. Let's get to work. Bobano, you start with the New Orleans Saints, 5-11, 2-5 on the road at Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 9-7, 4-4 at home, Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida, 69 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 7-mile-per-hour winds. We knew that Kendra Miller and Derek Carr would be out, but now Alvin Kamara, which we had expected, will also be out. Chris Olave's had his practice window open, but I don't see why he would be out there. I do not expect him out there. For the Buccaneers, Jamel Dean and Antoine Winfield still out. Cade Otton out. We've seen Gadecki do a terrible job. It doesn't sound like he will even be the tight end number 2 right now. Gadecki's moving down the depth chart there. Let's take a look at the line history and hand it over to Bobano for our first spot on the board. We have this total at 44.5. It's minus 109 to the under. Opened up at 43.5. So we have gone up a point here on that total. And then on the point spread, I see some 15s on the board. But right here, we have a minus 14.5, slightly juiced towards the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This has come up from 14, although we did see 13.5s at other books. And then when we get to the cash flow for our first spot on the board, we have 82% of the tickets, 80% of the cash on the Buccaneers. And on the total, we have 82% of the tickets and 90% of cash on the over. Bobano, your first game on the board. Take it away, Saints Bucks.
Yeah, this one, look, if you're going to bet Tampa Bay, I think you got to split it up with first half, full game, maybe even first quarter. looks, and I'm certainly going to talk about that with another of the games. I've got a little bit of all three, but I got them below 30. I mean, I have Tampa below 14, and I see 14.5, 15. So for the purposes of the show, I don't want to make any of those official. What I will make official is the full game over. That's the one bet I made on this game that's still at a good number, a good line, and I think it makes sense. I don't see New Orleans getting many stops on defense. I don't. We see this defense this year when they've been asked to shut down good teams. They haven't. Chargers score 26, Broncos score 33, Packers score 34. And Tampa Bay's got a legitimately good offense. We see what they have done this season. Last week, they shredded that Carolina defense. They can probably pot for 35, in this game. And if that's the case, you're only going to need 10 from New Orleans to get over the total. And I think with Rattler, he's playing for, his future in the NFL, show what he can do. And Tampa's still got some injuries on defense. So I do think the Saints can contribute enough points to this over to get there. So when it's all said and done, that's the one bet I've made on this game that's still at a good enough number and price right now to make it an official show play. So we'll go with over 44 minus 114.
Over 44 minus 114. I said that we'd beat that Mike Evans prop by 10 yards. We beat it by 9. It's at 100.5 right now. We got it 91.5. We knew it was going to be a public play. I just don't believe that the market's capable of putting a number quite high enough in these situations. We shall see. Bruce Hallett, Hunter Henry, touchdown. Action coming in from the chat. But on this game here, we have Buccaneers minus 14 for Justin McKelvey as well. Brick J saying every time I doubt the Bucks, they end up scoring big in the first half. First game for Bobano in Saints Bucks over 44 minus 114. We head to Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana. My futures went great this year, and I'll retweet all the pre and regular season futures and preseason futures. But the Colts to make the playoffs to plus 140 was a mistake. And the way they broke down the stretch surprised me. This defense was absolutely horrific. We have Anthony Richardson out yet again. I didn't go over. Oh, yes, I did. I went over the notables. Anthony Richardson out again. So Joey Flacco will be starting. Could be his last NFL start here. For the Jags, these are two pretty healthy groups. Walker Little out, on the line, offensive line for the Jags, but they're a pretty healthy group. And Julius Brent's expected to play for the Colts at cornerback. Let's get into the line history here for this one. We have the Colts minus 3.5. This has moved drastically. It's moved drastically, here. It started yesterday. It moved from the 5 to the 3.5 for the Jaguars, plus 5 to plus 3.5. So we have a plus 3.5 now for the Jags. And on the total here for this one, we are sitting with a 44.5. It's slightly juiced to the over. This opened up at 45.5, and it dropped all the way down to 43.5 before we saw this considerable buyback. From a cash flow perspective, 56% of tickets, 70% of the cash on the Colts. It's moving in the opposite direction. 77% of tickets, 74% cash on the over. It clearly looks like they're still fighting for Doug Peterson here. It really does. And I wonder if the Jags should have been moved on ahead of time. But I'd love to hear Bobano's breakdown. Take it away, Jags Colts.
I'm going with Colts team total. And here's the rationale. And I know they got knocked out last week by the Giants. It was ugly. It was pathetic. It was terrible. And there's concerns about, what are they even going to show for a meaningless home finale, seeing their playoff hopes die? Well, for Joe Flacco, we don't know how many more times we're going to see him. I don't know if this is the end of his career. He's talked about wanting to come back and play somewhere next year, perhaps. But, there's always that possibility this is it for him. And, it feels like they could maybe want to rally around. Certainly offensively, they're capable of doing that. Defensively, I don't know, because that was pretty embarrassing last week. You're letting Drew Lock basically carve up your defense last week in a must-win spot. Doesn't exactly bode well for you. So I do like the Colts here, team total, and that's the only way you can bet the Colts, because I don't know how you can lay points with their defense with what we've seen against Tennessee and the Giants the last couple of weeks, where they gave up the 30s against two of the weaker offenses and teams in the NFL. So Colts over 23.5 at minus 135 at BetMGM. That way I can just bet on the offense moving the football, which I think they can do. Mac Jones hasn't played that bad as well, Jimmy. He's been solid. He's been okay. He's been serviceable. We know this has been at least the last 2 weeks, has been an embarrassingly bad Indianapolis defense. So you're going to give me over 44 minus 115 indoors. I'll take it. So also on the full game over here.
What was the juice on that Colts team total?
Minus 135.
Yeah. I know you're not on the side here, but at this point, watching the market, our belief that they're still fighting for Doug Peterson for reasons we can't quite understand or explain. Is the Jags sort of like, if you had a free $500 bet right now or a free $1,000 bet right now, would you be going to the window with the Jags plus 3.5 or the Colts minus 3.5?
It's funny because I like the Colts offense to score here, but I don't trust their defense worth a damn. So it's kind of those weird dynamics where I like the Colts team total, but I wouldn't be shocked if they win by 3. And if you can get 3.5 with Jacksonville, I don't mind it.
Yeah, I wonder if, I was really pushing to have a low volume on week 18. The higher the volume on week 18, the worse it's been for me historically. Shout out to Troy Torrance in the house.
My inclination is, I don't know, for some reason, this is more going on your gut that I just think the Colts are going to play hard for Joe Flacco today. I just feel that, at least on offense. I don't know if they're capable on defense. That defense looks really bad, obviously, the last 2 weeks. That's why I bet the team total.
And we found that cheaper. Thank you, Lex Steele, on DraftKings. Great job.
There we go. Minus
120. That's very helpful
here.
So also very thankful and shout out to our friend Gorky with the $2 dono, blessing our action, and his play is Vikings money line. We're going to talk a lot about that on today's card. We roll on with Bo Bano. He's moved on the team total with the Colts in the full game over in Jacksonville, Indianapolis. 1 p.m. Eastern. Carolina Panthers 4-12, 1-6 on the road. The Atlanta Falcons 8-8, 4-4 at home at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia. The Panthers defense without Josie Jewell and J.C. Horn, is weak. It's already weak, and the secondary is already
with them. It's terrible without them.
You're absolutely right. So we have these guys out of the lineup, and then you take Chuba Hubbard and force all of the action around Bryce Young being able to move the ball through the air and, with his feet. It's just a miss. It's just a problem. Now, this line hasn't really moved towards the Falcons, and you're going to hear a capper coming up here shortly who is on the Panthers. But I'm on Atlanta first half and Atlanta double result. The 7.5s are prevalent in the market. I have an 8 right here, but it's minus 110 to Carolina and minus 102 to Atlanta. Now, there is some concerns when they look up at the scoreboard and see what Tampa is doing to New Orleans. That was my concern on Wednesday, and that's why I'm only on the first half and the double result. This total is at a 49. It's minus 114 to the under. It has climbed up. This has climbed up from 47.5. When we get to the cash flow, then here for this spot, we have 61% of the tickets, 67% of the cash on the Falcons, 66% of tickets, 75% cash on the over. Take it away, my friend. Panthers, Falcons.
Yeah, this is one of those games where if you like Atlanta, and I've said this all week on other shows, take them first quarter, take them first half, because you never know that it could be 28-0 Tampa Bay, 28-3 Tampa Bay at halftime. And if that's the score, Atlanta's going to know. It's not like they're going to be blind to what's going on in Tampa Bay. And then they know their goose is cooked, and they're not going to make the playoffs. They're not going to win the division. So you worry about where the mindset will be in the second half. If Tampa Bay is already up big in the first half against New Orleans in the other game, because again, Atlanta can only clinch the division, make the playoffs if they win and they get a Bucs loss. So from that standpoint, if you like Atlanta, take them early. I do like Atlanta early. I've decided to do something very rare: a first half team total over 13.5 minus 150. That's a big price to lay, but I'd rather lay the minus 150 to get below 14 than take 14.5 at even money. It's very simple. I want the key number on my side. So Atlanta team total over 13.5 minus 150. First half team total Falcons. And I'm going to take full game over here as well, simply because I think, this Atlanta defense is still scary to me. And Bryce Young has been kind of Jekyll and Hyde the last few weeks. He's had some good games. He's had some bad games. Last week was a bad game. A couple weeks ago when they beat Arizona and really hurt their playoff hopes, he had a really good game. And Atlanta's defense is shaky enough where I don't fully trust them necessarily week to week. So I think Carolina can move the ball. And I certainly think Michael Penix Jr. and this Atlanta offense can have their way because You saw Carolina defense banged up, not very good to begin with, ripped apart by Tampa last week. Atlanta's got the capabilities to do the same. So over 48, minus 116.
Over 48 at minus 116. Falcons first half team total over 13.5, minus 150, and the over 48 at minus 116. Let's keep rolling. Presidential-minded Kings, though, does think that Carolina +8 is good money. We'll be talking about that game as well.
If you like Carolina, please just take them full game. Do not, you want full. If you like Carolina, you want them full game because you want that on your side. That maybe New Orleans is up, Tampa Bay is up big against New Orleans, and then Atlanta kind of goes through the motions, realizing, hey, it's over for us.
Agreed. Let's roll on. 1 p.m. Eastern. Washington Commanders 11-5, 4-3 on the road. Dallas Cowboys 7-9, 2-6 at home. AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. With the Steelers losing, the importance of the Commanders now for seeding to win this football game is in play, and that in turn moved this line pretty drastically towards the Chargers. First, we'll start with this total. Opening up at 40.5, now 41.5. Let's get to the point spread here for this one. We have these Chargers now at a 7, basically. I'm looking at a 6.5, heavily juiced, minus 116. It's plus 104 if you want the Raiders in this spot. So this was 4.5 before yesterday's action. From a cash flow standpoint here, we have these Chargers with 82% of the tickets, 93% of the cash, 78% of tickets, 89% of cash on the over. So Commanders, of course, still dealing with the hamstring issue with Marshawn Lattimore. He's going to be out. Tyler Owen's going to be out at safety. Jordan McGee dealing with a hamstring injury. Linebacker Tyler Biadasz, their center, who's very good center, dealing with an ankle injury. He's doubtful, not expected to play. Either is Cornelius Lucas on the offensive line. Now, Austin Eckler is full go. Austin Eckler will be in the lineup here for the Commanders to give them another option here. For these Cowboys, they're a pretty healthy group right now, considering this time of the year. I mean, they lost a bunch of players for the season around the halfway mark, but they're pretty healthy for this point in the season. Let's take a look at the line history. Oh, we've done that here. Sorry. So let's get here to the X's and O's and how our guy Bobano is going to move on it. Take it away, Bobano. Commanders, Cowboys.
I was going to say you were talking Chargers and Raiders, but Commanders, Cowboys is on the screen. Okay, well,
Washington,
Dallas.
Sorry, I'm tripping there. I knew someone was up there. Sorry,
I can talk about anything, as you know.
No, that was me. I don't know why the Chargers.
Let's do Washington, Dallas. That was up on the screen.
Yeah,
Washington,
Dallas. Let's start this again. I knew something was wrong because I did the injuries there because Chargers are on my mind. I'm so sorry, you guys. Let's try this again. We have Commanders, Cowboys here. Commanders, Cowboys, AT&T Stadium here. I don't know why I moved right to the because it is the Commanders. It is the Commanders that have the opportunity now to move up in the seedings. 70% of the tickets, 76% of the cash on the Commanders, 81% tickets, 66% cash on the over. I apologize for that screw up there. And then in the cash, in the line history for this one, it's the same deal here. We've seen this line move all the way up from 3. The 3 was absolutely crazy. We were talking about on Wednesday how this could open at a 3. We've moved 4 points to the 7 here. And then on the total, and I apologize for the screw up there, on the total, we have a 43. It's funny that this total is dropping, a bit unexpected, I guess, with the importance of the Commanders to take care of business that the Cowboys are expected to not be able to score. Take it away for us here, and I apologize for the screw up, Commanders, Cowboys.
No, that's okay. I'm going to take Washington here. Remember, Dallas beat Washington in Washington. So it's not just Washington playing for seeding and to move up. Also for Washington to try to get some payback here against a Dallas team that, really ran special teams and, that was a crazy game. I remember it. But Washington minus 6.5, minus 114. We'll go with that in this one. I think they've got the capability to win by upwards of a touchdown. Look, I know the last time Dallas played here, they got a home win against a very good Tampa Bay team. That isn't lost on me, but I think for Washington, I like the idea of them being able to get the job done here in this game. We saw, obviously, with Jaden Daniels. You know what's good about Washington, too? Their defense is slowly starting to get back on track again. They had a few wobbles there. They also played some good teams, tough schedule. I think against Dallas, they've got a lot of offensive issues. We saw without CeeDee Lamb last week just the difficulties they had. So Washington -6.5 for me, -114.
You are locked and loaded. Let's roll on 1 p.m. Eastern. New York Giants 3-13, 2-5 on the road. Philadelphia Eagles 13-3, 7-1 at home. Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. 30 Fahrenheit, mostly sunny, 11 mile per hour winds in Philly. Of course, the amount of players sitting for the Eagles. Now, this has been a spot that's hurt me in the past, but I couldn't help but move on the Giants here. And I waited all week, but I couldn't help but move on them here. I know there's a lot of articles saying that, Drew Lock will under-deliver here after that phenomenal performance. But, of course, there's going to be a letdown of some kind after the greatest game of his career. There's still something on the line for him. Jalen Hurts out. Saquon Barkley out. You have A.J. Brown out. We'll start with the offense. Devonta Smith out. All coaches' decision. And then on the offensive line, Landon Dickerson, Lane Johnson, Lane Johnson and Jordan Mailata all out. On the defensive front, Zach Bond out, Jalen Carter out, Nakobe Dean out. And then on in the secondary, Darius Slay is out as well. So they're resting everybody here. And the Giants are reasonably healthy. I mean, Micah McFadden out and Evan Neal out. Evan Neal and John Michael Schmitz out on the offensive line, but Micah McFadden out, obviously that hurts, but they're, reasonably healthy. And, Malik Neighbors is a full go. This total is down to a 35. It's -112 to the over. This is dropped down from 38.5. And then on the spread here, we have the Giants now up at a 3. Damn. So a big move towards the Eagles here this morning. Damn it. If I had just waited a little bit longer. God damn. I thought it was going to move in the other direction. God, I would have much, much preferred that 3 here for the Giants. And then cash flow wise, 27% of the tickets, 25% of cash on the Giants. On the spread, on the money line, just 8% and 3%. On the total, 85 and 68 on the over, and it continues to drop. Take it away for us here, Bobano, Giants, Eagles.
Yeah. I understand the draft pick situation, but if they cared that much about the draft pick, why the hell did they spoil the Colts' playoff hopes last week? Yeah. So, and I'd show light for the first time in weeks. That's what I keep going back. This game means zip to Philadelphia, in my opinion. I'm with you. I'm on the Giants +3, -110. Maybe recency bias. Maybe the Colts were that bad last week, and the Giants go back to the same old inept Giants this week. But I saw Malik Neighbors making big plays down the field. The one thing about Philly is a lot of their secondary, you mentioned Slay and others, are resting. There's going to be opportunity for Neighbors to make some of those big plays with Drew Lock in the passing game. And like I said, this is just not a game that is of any consequence to the Philadelphia Eagles. So, yeah, maybe the Giants it's not in their best interest from an organizational standpoint to win, but it's hard to always get that down and filter down to the players. And we kind of saw that last week. They played hard. They played well. They played hard. They played inspired for the first time in weeks, the Giants. And I'm not convinced we're seeing that out of Philly here today. So for me, yeah, Giants +3, -110.
The main thing I wanted to fade was we all watched Tanner McKee throw 4 passes and 2 of them went for touchdowns.
Yeah.
Come on. In what world could that possibly happen again? It's just an absolute outlier situation that everybody saw. We watched him in preseason football look feeble. So let's roll here. Next spot on the board is Chiefs Broncos, Empire Field, Mile High, Denver, Colorado. 28 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 1 mile per hour winds. When you look at the coach's decision as to who's resting, it is all on the defense here. Now Pacheco has the rib injury, so he's out, and McCole Hardman has the knee injury, so he's out. Mahomes, of course, is out, and Travis Kelce's out. So Cash, the under 850.5 yards for the season. It was a little tighter than I would have wanted it. But it's all on the defense. Chris Jones, Trent McDuffie, Nick Bolton. Oh, Kareem Hunt is also out, by the way. Sorry. But George Kalafdis, out. Justin Reed, Drew Tranquil. They're all out. And, it's the offense that still has weapons, and Wentz has something to prove. I'm on a team total over 13.5, with confidence, with a lot of confidence. But this Spread right now has moved to 11.5. The Broncos are 11.5 point favorites. This was 10.5 most of the week. And on the total scenario, we have this now at 40.5, and it's climbing. It's a minus 110, and it's climbing. Troy's on the full game over. I'm on the Chiefs team total over. I like it. And weather's cold, but no wind. Take it away for us, Bobano. Chiefs Broncos.
If you had to say what's your best bet for this entire card, it's probably over 40 here with Kansas City, Denver. I think this is far too low, this total. I get Patrick Mahomes is out, but Carson Wentz is playing for his NFL life and future. He's going to come out here and he's going to put whatever best game Carson Wentz has, he's going to try to show it today against this Denver defense. A Denver defense, I might add. Did you see the last two games against the Chargers and Bengals? There's some cracks in that armor with that Denver defense right now. They've been giving up big plays. Run defense hasn't been as sharp. The secondary's been kind of torched. Look at last week against Cincy. Look at the Chargers game against Herbert. This defense is coming unglued a little bit. And, I actually have a small bet on KC here at plus 11. I just think, there's a lot of pressure on this Denver team. I think they'll win, but, there's a young team and you're in a must-win spot. Those aren't always easy. And Kansas City, even in the last week of the season when they've had nothing on the line, we've seen Andy Reid's team still play hard and show up and be competitive. So I don't mind the plus 11, but that's not the official play. The official play is the over. I think Kansas City can do enough on offense against a struggling Denver defense. And then on the flip side, Kansas City, more of their starters that are resting are on that defensive side. Bo Nix and the offense at home, I think they'll probably have their way, get into the high 20s, maybe even crack 30, but at least the high 20s. And I think you can get, 14-17 out of Carson Wentz and the Chiefs today. So, there's below 40 at a couple books. So we'll go with that. Over 39.5, minus 112.
The sharp books are moving this to the over right now. So the getting under 40 is a great look. Over 39.5, minus 112. Final spot on the board. The most important spot on the board. We will be live right here, back in business, NFL live stream for Vikings Lions at Ford Field. And, Alex Anzalone back. That's a big deal for the Lions. It's just been taking away from this defense. And finally, some good news there for them. And I have the Lions plus 130 to win the division. And I've not hedged. It's just not a big enough score, obviously. And I'm not convinced that the Vikings are the play, even though you're going to hear a lot of cappers on them. This total's gone from 51 to 56.5. We saw it get up to 58.5. It was at 58.5. Now, I've had terrible results trying to fade these ridiculously high totals for the Lions. So I, even though it appealed to me, I didn't move on it. We see threes here, but on the 2.5 line here, this moved to 2.5, and it was always pretty heavily juiced. It still is. Detroit minus 2.5, minus 123. It depends where you want to pay the juice. Do you want to pay the juice on the Vikings, plus 3, or do you want to pay the juice on the Lions minus 2.5? Let's get to the cash flow here for the big game on the board. Big live stream tonight here. 56% of tickets, 62% of cash on the Vikings, 61% of tickets, and 69% of cash on the over. Take it away for us here, Bobano, Vikings Lions.
Yeah, this is what I have, and I have them at prices where they weren't that bad. Now they've skyrocketed. I bet both teams totals over early in the week because I think it's going to be one of those shootout games. Then the full game over as well, but it got beyond 56. I'm not giving it out now. It's just too high. So it's above the key number of 56, but there is still something I'm going to make official in this game. And I know there's a lot of Vikings love. And believe me, the Vikings are very capable of going into Detroit and winning this game. Make no mistake about it, especially knowing they lost the first game. They could have won that one. But if you think for a second that I'm going to fail to put my faith behind Dan Campbell and the Lions at home in this environment, in a game of this magnitude, after seeing them put their balls on the line against the 49ers in a game that could have meant nothing to them, how can I bet against that? How can I bet against that team aura that the Detroit Lions have going? So what I will go with for an official play, we're going to take the Jimmy the Bag playbook here. Detroit plus 115, double result. I think they're going to lead at halftime, start off strong, and ride it to victory here. They'll lead at halftime. They'll win this football game, and I like the price on it. You can get plus money now with that double result for the Lions. I think they'll get the job done. And this is no disrespect to Sam Darnold and Kevin. I love what they've done. Great team. Outstanding season they've had. but I cannot step in front of Goff, Campbell, the Lions in this environment with that crowd, knowing they lost the NFC Championship game on the road last year, how dearly they wanted at Ford Field this year to be able to host that game. So that is the play we'll go with here. Lions, double result.
A great point with using the double results. I'll put out my double result numbers in CFL, college football, and NFL, and they will blow your mind. It's the highest ROI of any bet I've ever had in my life. That's dramatic. In my entire life, the double results when you're just not. Do I want the 6.5 or 7.5? Is it too much? I think the team is going to be in control. Double result. I'll put it out, and I did realize. I guess I want maybe best when the season's over, but it'll blow your guys' minds, And it's almost all the average line is going to be plus money. Lions double result for Bobano. Over 39.5 in Kansas City, Denver. Giants +3 at -110. Washington -6.5, -114. Falcons first half team total over 13.5 and the full game over 48. Colts team total over 23.5. Full game total over 44.5. The over 44 in Saints Tampa. Excellent work, Bobano, this year. You are right in line. 62 and 55, down 1.9 units. Right in line to heat up here and to climb right into the top 5, 3 straight winning weeks. And he's gone 18 and 11 over those 3 weeks, plus 6+ units. Thank you for being here with us, Bobano. We have no Monday night live stream. So if you can jump on with us for a little bit tonight, we'd love to have you, but no pressure at all. Check out Bobano on the Ice Guys, on Hitting the Books, and of course on the NBA OG show, and support him on X at Bobano Bets. Bobano, thank you so much for your time. Any last words for the Cappers supporting the show?
No, just have a great final NFL Sunday of the regular season. Get ready for the playoffs. Good luck to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button. Thanks for tuning in, Jimmy. Good luck to you as well. And let's have a big final Sunday of the NFL regular season.
There he is, Ian Cameron. We go from Hamilton, Ontario, all the way down to Arizona for our next guest. He is the highest average line. Him and Birdie are right there, but Clint has the highest average line of any capper on our show this year, and he hasn't hit any of those big bombs. Despite that, he's still 17 and 20, down just 0.26 units. He's ready to rock with us today. He's got a monstrous evening ahead of him with his Vikings traveling to Detroit in a huge family party to celebrate the big game. Star of the Die Hard MMA podcast, please welcome our friend, Mr. Clint McLean, to the show. Clint, how are you, my man?
Morning, Jimmy. I'm doing very well, my friend. I would be doing better if Addison had not just let that ball slip through his fingers. We were this close, buddy. This close to getting the Addison 2 TD prop last week, and that would have changed everything.
It would have changed everything, but you're going to get one. You're going to get one of these. You always do every year. And, we've seen you get them on the live streams. You see, you're going to hammer one. Maybe it is today, my friend. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's get right to work. We start with the Carolina Panthers at Atlanta Falcons here. We've already set this game up with a Bobano. Bobano moving on the Falcons first half team total over 13.5. Juice to -150, and the over 48 at -116. We have myself moving heavily in this game on the Falcons first half -4.5, -102, and the double result. I should say heavily, $600, two bets. We have action here from our guy Clint. Now, Clint, I just want to start with the side. I don't want to get into the player prop. I'll set that one up for you. So get into the side here. Take it away for us, Panthers Falcons.
Yeah, so Jimmy, one of the things I like to do, my main sport is MMA. Everybody knows that, right? Like when I'm betting on MMA, the one thing that you cannot do in the sport of MMA is bet on a fighter with quit in their heart. When you see somebody go out there and that fight is still on the table to be won and their heart fails and they just lay down and they accept the beating that is coming their way and they just look to get out of the cage as safely as possible and get it over with. Please open that door. Let me out of here. You can't put your money on that guy ever again, because once a quitter, always a quitter in that circumstance, right? Now, I feel like hockey is a much more 1-to-1 ratio with MMA compared to football. It's not quite the same thing, but that's exactly what I'm going with here. This team quits. Jimmy, we've seen the Falcons quit all season. We've seen them fall apart all season, and they finally have their rookie QB in there. He hasn't had enough time to fully learn the system. They didn't go into the season expecting him to be playing. They thought they were going to go with Kirk Cousins, so this is a last-second swap. They're trying to juice the team. He can sling the ball. Penix has got a rocket for an arm, absolutely, but nobody's used to it yet. There's no functionality here with this Falcons team. And on top of that, when they get behind the ball, that spark just isn't there. I'm not seeing that effort to win. And the game is on the line. Must win does not equal will win. And when they see the scoreboard that the team that needs to lose is not in fact losing, what do you think they're going to do? They're absolutely going to pack up and go home. This team has quit before. They're going to do it again. And I'm going straight for the throat, Jimmy. I'm taking the Panthers plus 7.5. And I'm taking them on the money line. Plus 310, I believe, is what I'm seeing out there right now. Plus 300 in some places. I think the Panthers haven't had anything to fight for all season. 4 weeks into the year, we knew. And they have been playing their asses off. Bryce Young has a chip on his shoulder. These receivers, old man Adam Thielen is out there sprinting as hard as he can to get open and try and make statements. Every single week, they're working for the future. They're working to get better. This is the last game of the season for them. You don't think this team wants to go out on a win? As soon as the Falcons realize that they've got nothing to play for, the Panthers are going to take over this game. They're going to win it.
It's a real possibility. Are you taking the 7.5 to get the lowest amount of vig possible, like minus 102, or would you like a bigger number with because there's bigger numbers available? I mean, you can get a plus 9 at minus 119.
I don't need it.
So
I'll take the lower vig. I'll take the 7.5.
Plus 7.5 minus 102. I'm gonna line shop for the best money line spot for you, but take off on our player prop here, wide receiver for the Panthers.
My favorite sleeper wide receiver of the year, Jimmy, Jalen Coker. This kid went undrafted. Nobody gave him even a second glance. And the first round wide receiver that this team drafted, now, granted, he's been banged up. He's been injured. I think he's got like a broken hand or something like that. So can't hold too much against Xavier Legette. But the one who's flashing, the one who seems to have some camaraderie with his quarterback is none other than undrafted Jalen Coker. He's a big body wide receiver. And this Falcons defense, frankly, has been capable of being had in the secondary and the deep ball, the deep threat. That's something that people have been able to throw on this Falcons team, even when they're trying. The entire season, you've been able to throw on the Atlanta Falcons. So especially when they start to slow down, especially when they start to quit, I just think that there's going to be a connection with Jalen Coker deep this week. We've seen him get into the end zone before, and I think this number is crazy because it's either him or it's Adam Thielen, and I think that it's Jalen Coker's week. So I'm going to take that shot, plus 320, Jalen Coker anytime TD.
This line's moving towards the Falcons as we speak, so we can get you plus 333 on that money line.
Sweet.
That plus 7.5 minus 102. Jalen Coker anytime touchdown plus 320. We move on to another big dog from our guy Clint McLean, started the Die Hard MMA podcast. Chicago Bears 4-12, 0-7 on the road. The Green Bay Packers 11-5, 6-2 at home at Lambeau Field, Green Bay, Wisconsin. Very cold, 17 Fahrenheit, but just cloudy. No. At this point, no expectation of snow. 8-mile-per-hour winds here. Elijah Hicks, defensive back for the Bears, is out. So is offensive lineman Tevin Jenkins. For the Packers, Jair Alexander is out. And Quay Walker and Evan Williams, safety, is out. So they got 3 players on defense there. 4, including Quay, Evan, Zane, and Jair Alexander. And then Andre Dillard in concussion protocol, still not going to be able to play here, their tackle. Let's get into the line history here for this one. We have the Chicago Bears. Oh, sorry. God, I got money line up here. Sorry. The Chicago Bears here at plus 10.5. It's really a 10 market wide. At the 10.5 here, it's minus 121 towards the Bears and plus 107 to the Packers. So it's a 10. It's coming up from 8.5. On the total here, we have a 41.5 minus 110 to the under. This opened up at 40.5. It's gone up a point to 41.5. And we get to the cash flow here for this Packers Bears spot. We have 78% of tickets, 72% of the cash on the Packers on the spread, 78% of tickets, 81% cash on the over. Take it away, Clint, my man. Bears, Packers at Lambeau.
Yeah, Jimmy, this one jumped out like a sore spot to me. I don't understand. I truly do not understand this line, this number, any of it. Similarly to what's going on with the Panthers, the Bears have nothing to play for but pride, and they are getting their asses chewed up and spit out by this league. Okay, I love making fun of the Chicago Bears. I have had a wonderful time the last couple of months mocking the Bears and everything that they've done, and this giant losing streak that they're going on. But the fact is, they put their best foot forward in division. Every single time the Bears come to play, that defense is actually half decent. It's not amazing. It's not the lockdown Bears defense of old. The offense has weapons. You've got a rookie quarterback who's trying to build that connection with some of his receivers, and really just they want a taste of victory, Jimmy. This was a team that, if you remember preseason, they were ranking this team above my Vikings, like just because they drafted a rookie sensation quarterback, which is ridiculous. But they were. Okay, so this team had high hopes, and after all that, they're at the bottom of the barrel, and the Green Bay Packers have nothing to play for. So the one thing the Bears hear every single year, year in, year out, every time they match up, the Packers own the Bears. Aaron Rodgers is daddy. Like they get absolutely slaughtered on social media, in interviews, everything, because the Packers just destroy this team, and it's been that way forever. The Packers have nothing to play for. Coach LaFleur came out and said that he is going to be, what was the wording that he used? He's going to be monitoring players with injury concern. Coach speak, Jimmy, they're resting some of these starters. The Green Bay Packers are not going to play their starters the entire football game in this spot. Now, if you go back to the last game that these two teams played together, it came down to a last-second field goal that was missed by the Bears in a 1-point game, and that was blood, sweat, and tears with all the starters and everything on the line, first time in division playing each other, and this thing came down to one single point. The Bears are going to come into this game hungry because they want to end the season on a win, because they want to get the monkey off their back against Green Bay, because they want to play spoiler. For all the emotional reasons, the Bears have absolutely all the motivation coming into this thing, and the Green Bay Packers' number one priority is entering the playoffs healthy. Jimmy, 10 points is way too much. We're going spread. We're going money line, because I think the Bears are going to pull the upset today. And frankly, I think the Packers don't really care. So they're going to go ahead and get this thing done. I'll take the Bears plus 10 and give me a little bit of a sprinkle on that plus 320 money line.
That plus 320 now plus 375.
Even better.
Moving towards the Packers. So plus 10 minus 108, money line plus 375. We move on to Seahawks, Rams, SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. Rob Havenstein is out. Then the coaches' decisions, they don't care about the lower seed. They just want to be healthy. Obviously, McVay thinks that the Rams can beat any team in the NFL at home, and they proved that against the Buffalo Bills. So Matt Stafford out, Puka Nacua out, Cooper Kupp out, Kyron Williams out, Alaric Jackson on the offensive line out. Same with Kevin Dotson on the offensive line out. So huge news here for these Rams. And so because of that, this line's moved very forcefully towards the Seattle Seahawks for the right reasons. Now it's 7.5. This opened up at a 3. It opened up at 2.5 at some of the books at the look ahead spots. Now we have a 7.5 right now. Juice towards the Rams at minus 116. But still, it is a 7.5. 7's market wide. When we get to the total here for the Seahawks Rams, we have a 38.5, slightly juiced to the over, and that has come down a point from 39.5 to 38.5. And when we get to the cash flow for this spot here, we have 42% of the tickets, 50% of the cash on the Seahawks, 81% tickets, 80% cash on the over. We have a player prop here from our man Clint McLean. Take it away, Seahawks Rams.
Okay. Do you want me to start with the? Are we doing the teaser first, or should I go with the player?
No, I want to close with the teaser.
Okay.
After the Vikings game.
So in this game, obviously, the Seattle Seahawks have something to play for. You mentioned the Rams are they're resting the majority of their starters at home, which they're still, they're a deep team. They're a good team. So I understand that. I understand the confidence, but the Seahawks definitely have something to play for. You've got DK Metcalf, who's trying to hit another 1,000-yard season, and you've got a massive incentive to win with Geno Smith. I believe it's like a $2 million or something like that incentive if he's able to go ahead and get the win today for this final game of the season. So the Seahawks will be playing for their captain. They will be playing for their quarterback. And all year, Jimmy, all year, I've been riding my boy Jackson Smith in Jigma. And I know DK is going to be needing those 60 yards to go ahead and get that 1,000-yard season. But at the end of the day, they're dialing up JSN. He's taken over as the wide receiver one of this team. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm going to go ahead and take Jackson Smith in Jigma at 60-plus receiving yards. That is minus 125. And we will also take the anytime touchdown at plus 175 because he has become the favorite target in this offense. And if they're going to win this game, which I think they will, they're going to need to rely on their best weapon. So I fully expect JSN to go ahead and eat today again.
I get it. I absolutely get it. Jackson Smith, the Jigba, 60-plus receiving yards, minus 125. Anytime touchdown, plus 175. We roll into the big one here. Vikings, Lions at Ford Field in Detroit, Michigan. All eyes on this football game. It's unbelievable that one team that will be 14-3 will be a 5th seed here. We've just had Dougie Wise with the free bands play today. Vikings plus 135, 2-unit banger. Take it away for us. We've already set this game up, Clint. Vikings, Lions.
First off, Jimmy, I just want to give a quick shout out to all my sons in the chat that were talking Green Bay last week. Made sure to let them know on the show beforehand. Don't think I'm going to let you off the hook afterwards. It's funny, Jimmy, how the narrative has changed because going into that game, absolutely everybody wanted to tell me how much the Packers were going to expose and wax my Vikings. And then afterwards, I'm starting to get messages like, well, the Packers kind of suck anyway, don't they? Like they're not even all that good. Like it's really hysterical. The turnaround once my boys have gotten the dub. And then you've got Ian Cameron, who, by the way, whom I love dearly, coming on this show, talking about aura. What do my boys have to do to get the respect, Jimmy? What do my boys have to do to get the nod? Because if there's aura in this game, my Vikings have it. It's swagger like you've never seen before. This team is playing for each other. This team is playing for their coach. I know everybody loves Dan Campbell's speeches, but that just lets me know that you guys have not heard Kevin O'Connell's speeches. That man will make you want to run through a brick wall as well. These teams are so much more evenly matched than anyone gives us credit for, and we're done, Jimmy. We're done. I told you what, 4 weeks ago, that you could get the Vikings to win this division at plus 500 and you should bet it. Now, I don't think that goes on my Pub Hub record, but I said that that's the play I wanted to make. And now you essentially get the same bet for what? Plus 120, plus 130, because they won out, Jimmy. It's all on the table today. 1-0 every single week. That's the attitude of this Minnesota Vikings team. We are deep. We've got a star-studded defense. We have weapons like nobody except the Detroit Lions can hope to match. And Sam Darnold is playing with his hair on fire right now. We're having a legendary season. It's time, boys. It's time. Now, Jimmy, on this show, everything's a one-unit bet. I understand on Pub Hub, everything's a one-unit bet. So there's no max bets. There's nothing like that. You got to get creative if you want to get some extra juice on this thing. So I'm going to take the Vikings plus 3, but the real bet is the Vikings money line at plus 130, Jimmy. I'm doubling down because I want to make sure I just drive that point home that we are not only covering, but we are winning outright today. The last time these teams played, it was offensive fireworks, you guys, and it was one slip up by the Minnesota Vikings, one moment of clock management that kept us from kicking a game-winning field goal. We should have won the last game, Jimmy. We straight up should have won the last game when these teams met each other. So we have to make it right this week. And when these teams go back and they go to the drawing board and they research their opponent, they're going to make adjustments on the defensive side. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. The Lions don't have a defense. The Vikings are going to make adjustments on the defensive side of the ball because we can. The Lions defense is pathetic on top of all the injuries. They're not going to be able to stop this Minnesota Vikings offense. So what we're doing in recap, everybody, Minnesota Vikings spread plus 3. Minnesota Vikings money line plus 130. We are going to then take Justin Jefferson anytime touchdown because he chews this defense up every single time he plays them. Justin Jefferson anytime TD at minus 110. We're going to repeat what we did last week, except hopefully get it this week, Jimmy. 2 touchdowns for Justin Jefferson because in the biggest game of the year, you go to your biggest weapon on the field. That is plus 550 for Justin Jefferson, 2 touchdowns. And then just for the icing on the cake, Jimmy, we're going to take Jared Goff interception at plus 1 10, because raise your hand if your defense has a takeaway in every single game this season. I'm the only one that can do that, Jimmy. I'm the only one here that can raise my hand. This defense has a takeaway in every single football game in 2024, 2025, all right? So when Jared Goff gets some pressure, when he panics a little bit, when they're behind, yes, I said it, behind and trying to make up distance, he's going to throw a ball and make a mistake at the end of this game. And I'm going to cash another plus money ticket with Jared Goff anytime TD. The Vikings defense is going to win this game today. Number 1 seed, Sam Darnold is king of the North. Like it or not, sit your asses down.
I love it. I love it. Just for rec action tonight, I'm going to be on both quarterbacks to throw in interceptions, and I'm not going to parlay them. But anytime a quarterback does throw an interception, I'm going to bet it again immediately. I'm going to keep betting just $100 pops over and over and over again for both, seeing how, because it's going to be a wild, wild football game. Vikings money line plus 136, Vikings plus 3 minus 108, Goff interception over a half interception plus 110, Jefferson touchdown minus 110, and 2 at plus 550. And then, I probably shouldn't have ended with this because that was our headliner right there. But you have a 6-point teaser, my man. Take it away with your 6-point teaser.
Yeah, 6-point teaser's boring at this point. We're going to go Commanders, Seahawks. I already talked about the Seahawks a little bit earlier. They're going to win this game. They're going to play this game to win for Geno Smith. You've got the Rams not playing everybody. I don't trust them to cover a 7-point spread, even though they probably should. I do think they're going to win. So we'll go ahead and take the Seahawks. The other side of that, most of these favorites, Jimmy, I don't trust them. Most of the favorites, you've seen me take these big dogs on the board. It's the last week of the regular season. Some of these guys are playing golf already. So I'm trying to look for teams with motivation, teams that have something to play for, teams that have an edge, that kind of thing. So we're going to use the other end of this 6-point teasers. It's going to be the Washington Commanders, another young team, another team that's playing for something, another team that I think can get a 2-point, 3-point win if necessary, even though I think it probably is going to be more than that. On top of that, the Dallas Cowboys are playing Trey Lance, who's just been awful. That defense is missing pieces. They've been out to pasture for the last couple of weeks already. They don't have CeeDee Lamb. I just don't see how the Cowboys win this game. I can see them being in it. So again, I don't want to lay the 7, but I think we're going to get the win. So that teaser is going to be Commanders and Seahawks. Both teams should come down to -1, -1.5, depending on where the lines are at right now. And I just need them to win.
Commanders -0.5, Seahawks -1 is the 6-point teaser. Our guy Clint in effect here. Let's review action. Panthers plus 7.5 -102, money line plus 333, Jalen Coker touchdown plus 320, Bears plus 10 -108, money line plus 375, Jackson Smith-Njigba 60 plus receiving yards and touchdown plus 175, separate bets, but Vikings money line plus 136, Vikings plus 3 -108, Goff interception over a half at plus 110, Justin Jefferson touchdown -110 and 2 at plus 550, teaser Commanders -0.5, Seahawks -1. Clint, my man, Luis Fernandez saying, Clint, have a great MMA year in 2025. Where can we find the Die Hard MMA podcast, my man?
Jimmy, for the first time in 6 years, you can find the Die Hard MMA podcast on the Die Hard MMA podcast YouTube channel. I am going. I lost my camera somehow.
You did lose your camera, but you're the voice of God.
I will do my best, Jimmy. Let me get in close here. Let me just make sure it's as sexy as possible for you guys. So you can find me at the Die Hard MMA podcast on all social media platforms. And for the first time in 6 years, the Die Hard MMA podcast YouTube channel is where I'm going to be, Jimmy. I'm spreading my wings. I'm taking a shot at it. I'm going to go solo. I've never done it since I first started the show, and you picked me up out of the slums over in SBR. I haven't been on my own YouTube channel since then, so we're giving it a real shot. That's where you can find me moving forward.
Our guy Clint McClain will be big supporters of the Die Hard MMA YouTube channel. Thank you so much for rocking with us, Clint. We also have our leader in our NFL Cappers contest on Pub Sports Radio, Nunya, in the house. We talked about you right off the top of the show, Nunya, my man. We go from the leader in the Cappers contest in our chat, Nunya, to the leader in NFL Pub Hub this year. He's been absolutely spectacular. I don't know where we would be without him. And I mean that. 45 and 28 plus 15.09 units. This is not a one-off. Last year, he was second overall in 28 cappers. This year, he's first overall out of 35 cappers. And last week on the show, he went with 3 sides against the market, cashed them all 5-1 plus 4.03 units. Please welcome the star of Brothers and Bets and the star of NFL Pub Hub, our guy Marley in the house. Marley, what's good, man? How are you?
What's good, Jimmy? H-Time, free my bro.
Marley, you have been just delivering time and time and time again. You also talked about and left it off fading the Cowboys last week.
Man,
and you left that off. I mean, it could have been an even more spectacular week. You were up 4 units last week, and you've been far and away the best capper on our show this season. Take it away. Commanders, Cowboys, AT&T Stadium, Arlington, Texas. We've already set this game up. Tell us how you're getting paid.
Yeah, man, you said it. I should have went on with it. Faded the Cowboys last week. I've been saying this, not getting tired of saying it, but I'm beating it like a drum on the show, man. The Cowboys are not a good team. They suck. The Cowboys suck. They suck with that. They suck without that. It doesn't matter. The Cowboys suck. We don't know who's quarterback. I know Trey Lance may or may not start, but it doesn't matter. Trey Lance, Cooper Rush. They have nothing to play for. And we saw what happens to their offense without CeeDee Lamb. They literally don't have anybody to throw the ball to. The running attack has gotten a tad bit better, but it's still not good. They're 2-6 at the crib, 2-6 ATS, and Washington still has something to play for. They're still, in my opinion, if I was them, I would go out here and try to win this game. They want to avoid playing Philly in the first round. Even though, they beat Philly last time they played, but it's hard to beat a team twice. That is Jalen Hurts got hurt that game, kind of changed things a little bit. I don't think they can go in Philly and beat Philly again. I don't know if they can, but I don't think they want to. Either way that goes, I think and on top of everything, this is a revenge game. Dallas came into Washington about 3-4. What are they on, a 4-game win streak? Because that was the last loss they had when Dallas went into Washington and won that game. So I'm on Washington here. We'll lay the touchdown. I just don't think Dallas, they're already in Cancun. This is 1, 2, 3 Cancun. I don't think nobody's I don't think they're going to go out here and fight for McCartney necessarily. I don't even think it's not a thing whether they like or don't like him. I think it's just human nature. Like, what are we playing for? Some of these guys are not trying to get hurt going into next season. The season is a wrap. So I'm on Washington.
We can get you the 6.5 with -113.
I can avoid the number. Yeah, 7 is the number. Give me the
7's a +101, but we can get you that 6.5.
Yeah.
Okay. Commanders -6.5 and -113 here for our guy Marley. We move on. We just talked about the Dallas Texans. Now we're going to talk about Dallas Cowboys. Now we're going to talk about your Houston Texans. Texans. Titans, Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee. The weather much better than we expected. Now it's 38 Fahrenheit. Now we need people in Nashville. If anybody close to Nashville, boots on the ground, could tell us what's going on now, because it's supposed to stop raining, the rain/snow, and then it's supposed to start raining after the game. But we need more information here for these Texans. Big Show saying, is Nico playing? For the Texans, Danico Autry out, Jeff Okudah not coming back from the concussion, and then Fadukasi on the defensive tackle out, Shaq Mason out. But there's a real feeling for the Texans, and Marley should talk about it, not me, but that they're going to try to get right a little bit. I mean, that was a horrific display last week, and they want to have some positivity going in. That's why we've seen this huge line move towards them. We thought this was a team that wasn't trying, and then there was some indications that they were. So this opened up at +5, and then it moved all the way down to them being favorites. This was a very, very slight favorite at one point, and that was back on Thursday. Now we've had a 3.5-point move back to Tennessee. So Tennessee now -2.5 from that 5. This total, I wanted to be on the under. I just didn't have enough faith in defensive intensity to stay on it or to bet it. So this opened up at 36.5. It climbed all the way up to 38.5 before coming now back to 36.5. We have a 2-cent move to the under. And we get to the cash flow here for this Texans Nashville game or Tennessee game that we haven't talked about yet. Cash flow wise, 75% of tickets, 83% of cash on the Texans, 80% of tickets, 84% cash on the over. Take it away for us, Marley. Texans Titans.
Yeah, everything I've been saying, everything I've been reading tells me that he's going to play the starters. The catch is, I don't think they're going to play the whole game. I think they're only going to play a half, or maybe, a couple I don't even say a couple quarters, a quarter to a half. So, which points toward my play. I'm on Texans first half. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what we've been catching all year. And I do think they want to come out at least offensively and get that last game. Well, the last two games, get that taste out of their mouth. We haven't looked good over the last previous. I think we played well against the Chiefs. But that Ravens game, man, it was awful. Basically got shut out. The 2 points was on, safety. It's not like we went out there offensively and earned those points. So everything that I've been reading tells me that we're going to at least play the second half. I think he wants to at least get 2 to 3 good drives out of the offense. I think he wants to put up some points early. Then they arrest them second half as the game has no significance. So I got the first half at a pick 'em. I'm also on the first half team total. I got it at 7.5. I don't know if it's still 7.5. Because I think if we just go get one touchdown, I don't think that's enough. The Titans are still giving up 27 points a game. Their last win was ironically against us. I think 5 games ago is what I'm not mistaken. They're 2-7 at home, 2-7 ATS. Their passing defense is actually okay. It's not bad, but they're terrible at the run, and I think that's what we're going to try to do, establish the run. Our offensive line is kind of not the best at protecting CJ right now. And obviously our receivers are banged up. So I think we're going to establish the run. I think this is a team we can establish the run on. I think the point is to go out here, look good for the first half, maybe put up 2 touchdowns, at least a touchdown and a field goal. Then I think we'll arrest the guys. The defense is going to play. And I think we've been playing good all week. All season, especially up front. So, and, I'm not worried about Levis and who's the other quarterback that rotates over there?
It's Mason Rudolph.
Mason Rudolph. Yeah. I'm not concerned about that. We just want to get something positive going into the playoffs, even if it's just a half. I don't think they go out there and try to win the game. I don't think they come out here and play a full 4 quarters, balls to the wall. But I do think first half they go out there just to have some type of momentum going into wild card weekend.
It just makes so much sense. And even Troy saying I might have to follow first half. I mean, that's what everything is indicating here is that, and it made sense. We talked about it on Wednesday that they just can't go into the playoffs.
Not like that.
Debacle against Baltimore. So, that might be something I might add here, but you also have a decision to make. Do you want the Texans money line first half -116, or do you want them -0.5 to be ahead? And that's at +105.
I'll take the -0.5.
-0.5. Texans first half -0.5 at +105. That is very appealing. I've got 52 minutes here to decide if I'm going to move on that as well. That just makes so much sense. Okay, we roll on here. Oh, sorry, in the Texans team total, because this is a sign that it's a winner. Pinnacle hanging a 6.5 at -218. And that's it. They're not letting you. They're like, bet that here at -218 or off. And it's interesting. So I'm in a line shop here for a
that's too much. I can't do that.
At a better price. First half team total, which I can get here. First half team total. Wow, it's tricky. We're gonna have to find this together, and we got to keep moving. I'm getting a 9.5 at -110 here. So, what did you get for the 7.5?
I got it at -115. Let me double check.
Wow, over.
7.5. Oh no, I got -125.
Okay, then that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, team total over 7.5 -125 for the first half. We roll on. Next up here, we have Chiefs Broncos. Now, Robert Martin saying that this Chiefs spot is, disrespectful, but let's talk about the guys who are out right now with injuries. Juwan Taylor on the offensive line, Hardman wide receiver, and Pacheco with the rib injury, and then Chris Jones with the calf injury, defensive tackle. Resting Mahomes, Kareem Hunt, and Travis Kelce on the offense. On the defense, Trent McDuffie, Nick Bolton, George Karlaftis, Drew Tranquil, Justin Reed. This line makes sense to me, but I am, quite bullish on this Chiefs team total over 13.5. Take it away for us here, Marley. Chiefs Broncos.
Yeah, I think the market's overreacting. I like the 11.5 with the Chiefs. I think it's just too many points, and in a game where, yeah, the Chiefs don't have anything to play for. Yes, they're resting their starters, but the Broncos are in this position because they're not a good team. It's not like they're a team that we tend to think is in the top half of the league. I think they're mediocre at best. Bo Nix is solid. He's a rookie, maybe in contention for the rookie of the year. The defense hasn't looked like it started out early on in the season. And I think I agree with Bobano. I think Carson Wentz is playing for his NFL career. And if I'm not mistaken, which I'm pretty sure I'm not mistaken, the Chiefs were in this exact position last year and they won this game outright. And I think it was against the Chargers. Same position. Andy Reid has a really good record in this exact position. Resting guys, big last game of the season, big dogs, and winning outright. I just think it's too many points. I do think the Broncos win, but I don't think they're going to cover. And I call it an 11.5. I'll still take the 11. That's fine. But I do think this will be a lower scoring game. I don't think the Chiefs are going to go in there and lay down. And I don't think Bo Nix is going to go out here and just carve up this Chiefs defense, even though, yeah, it is the backups, but I'm just not sold on the Broncos in this offense that only averages 24 points a game, that they're going to the Broncos, I guess, are relying on the defense to come out here and shut down an Andy Reid-led offense, even though it's with backups. But I still think we can get 2 touchdowns out of the Chiefs, if not more, because what do they have to lose? And we know how creative Andy Reid is offensively. His scheme will get guys open. And I think Wentz, what does he have to lose, right? I agree with Bobano. I think we're going to get the best version of Wentz of whatever he can do now. Maybe not of his career, but the best version of him now. He's going to go out there and sling it. And why wouldn't he? What does he have to lose? So I think we're going to get an ultra aggressive Andy Reid, because what does he have to lose? I think he's going to actually try to get Wentz a job next year. I think the defense will still play tough. And I don't think the Broncos are just going to blow out but they're in this position because they couldn't win. They should have beat the Bengals or at least the Chargers 2 weeks before that. They're in this position because they're not a good team. So I like the Chiefs plus the points. I just think it's too many points. I think they win. I think they get in. Another thing too, I just like I said, Andy Reid's been in this position before. He's come out on top. I just think it's too many points, in my opinion.
Plus 11.5 minus 114 or plus 11 at minus 107?
107, 114. Give me the 11.5.
11.5 minus 114.
What? Give me the 11. What's the half a point you're going to do?
11 at minus 107. For me, the main point here is that all of the wide receivers and Noah Gray at tight end are in. Why? Because you know what? I got to move on the over. I got to move on the over in this game right now. I got to double down. I got because this, I think what Troy's saying makes a lot of sense. That they do not want the Bengals in the playoffs. Is Spagnuolo going to try his hardest? No. Is Wentz going to try his hardest? Yes. Is Reid making sure that he has weapons at his disposal? Yes.
But are they going to try to win the game? No. Because I agree, they don't want the Bengals in the playoffs.
No, nobody in the AFC wants the Bengals in the playoffs.
But I think you get your over because I think they'll get you more than 14 points.
Okay, then here we're running a little bit behind. That is okay here. And apologies to our guy 2 Cents who's in the studio in the background here. But an important point, and I guess I'm being selfish here, but in Troy talking about it too. With this Texans first half look, can you go back to the Texans graphic here, Jose? With the Texans first half look, the first half minus half plus 105. Texans first half team total over 7.5. Troy saying, asking if you could expand on which you think would be the best spot, the team total or the spread. Are we a little concerned that the defense is going to be resting the important players? The idea is to get the offense a little more confident.
That's, you know what? I didn't think about it that way. No, I think the defense is still going to play. I don't think he's going to limit the defense more than the offense necessarily. Because let's say the offense comes out on fire. I don't think he wants them necessarily in the shootout. I think he wants the team to look good going into. You want to build momentum for both sides or all three phases, but especially both sides of the ball. You don't want to get in the shootout early and the defense is still looking like, coming off of going into the wild card feeling like, well, we didn't play particularly good the last game. So I like the 7 just as much as I like the first half. If you pull my arm and make me pick one or the other,
just pick one.
I'll take the team total.
Okay, I'm gonna move on these two spots here in a second. Great stuff from our guy Marley. Let's roll on though. Next up, we have Chargers Raiders. I messed it up with the breaking down the wrong game. They're setting up the wrong game for Bobano. He handled it really well. So I did sort of set up Chargers Raiders. We know there's been a huge market move towards the Chargers after the Steelers lost. Right. So, a real opportunity here for the Chargers to go to Houston, which is what every team in the AFC wants desperately. Now, it could not be, Houston could step up, obviously. But so here we go. I've sort of set this one up already, and we're on a bit of a time crunch. So take it away for us here, Marley. Chargers, Raiders.
Yeah, I'll go quick. For the same reason you just named, the Steelers lost. Everybody wants to come to Houston. I'm on the Chargers here. Raiders, they've been playing all right. I don't think they want to win, but they've won 2 games, a little 2-game win streak. I thought they were in the Shadur Sanders race, but they're still 27th in points allowed. I think now that you give the Chargers motivation, you just give them a reason to go out there and play. The defense is going to only giving up 17 points a game, number 1 in points allowed. So give me the Chargers here to come to Houston, and I think we beat them, honestly.
I don't.
We'll talk about that next week.
Okay, I'm going to find you the best line. I can definitely get you a 6.5. We'll look at Vic. This is the game we want to hear Marley's thoughts on. Our number 1 capper this year by a giant stretch. Number 2 overall last year. Number 1 out of 35 cappers. Vikings, Lions. The floor is yours.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna make it quick. We're behind time. I'm with Clint, man. I'm with the Vikings. I think finally, that Lions defense and those injuries, they just catch up. And I think what's gonna happen is we probably get our shootout early. I think we get our back and forth, or I just think we get a solid game. But I think the Vikings defense is gonna give the Vikings the stop or two throughout this game that the Lions defense is not gonna be able to provide. And I think that's the difference right there. On top of it's hard to beat a division team twice in the season. I know we can throw out every game. It only matters right now. And I think we also got to factor this. Dan Campbell, as much as a player that everybody that's played football in their life, high school, college, would love to play for this guy. He's going to make a decision or two that could cost him, and in all likelihood might cost him in this game. There's going to be a 4th down on the Vikings 30 that he's going to think he can get or think he should go for, or maybe announce the onside kick. That's not a surprise anymore in the 4th quarter with 8 minutes left and they're down. This is going to make some kind of decision that's just going to probably cost his team. Offensively, I think they'll score. I think both teams will find success scoring. I just think at the end of the day, the Vikings defense will get at least a couple of stops that the Lions defense won't be able to get. Sam Darnold, both quarterbacks are playing well. Both offenses have weapons all over the place. And I think the difference is just the injuries on the defense, and that's going to be the problem for me. So I'm on the Vikings plus the 3. That's the show play. I will sprinkle a little bit on that money line today, but the Lions have told us. I mean, they gave up 30 to San Fran last week, 48 to Buffalo. They're giving up 30 plus points last couple of weeks of the season, and it's definitely because of the injuries. So true, the offense is scoring 30 points. It may take 30 to win this game, so you may get that over. I'm off the total, but I do gotta get that plus 3, and I actually think they're going to win the game outright.
Vikings plus 3 at minus 108. As you guys know, I do have 500 on the Lions to win the division at plus 130. I'm gonna let that ride. I at this point, I'm not gonna look for any kind of middle or anything. There's just not enough money up for grabs on that. I'm gonna let the Lions, let them basically having a bet on the Lions money line plus 130 here for me. Vikings plus 3 at minus 108 for Marley. The Chargers meant to be finding you the best 6.5 here. 6.5. Let me just pull this up very, very quickly. And for God, sorry about that. The Chargers minus 6.5. We can get you that at minus 114. So Chargers minus 6.5, minus 114.
What up?
Chiefs plus 11 at minus 107. By the way, our guy Justin McKelvey found you Texans first half on the three-way money line, which means the tie is a loss, which is a -1/2 at plus 120 at Bet Rivers. And we have the Bet Rivers promo and hookup. If anybody's looking for the bonus that we have, just hit that link that we've got on top of our clipped on top of our chat. So we get you that plus 120. Great find by our guy Justin. Texans first half team total over 7.5 minus 125. Commanders minus 6.5 minus 113. You've been unbelievable. I mean, I just I don't get lost for words with a positivity with any capper ever in my life. But what you've done here in the last 2 years on the show has been nothing short of spectacular. 45 and 28 plus 15.09 units. And if you want more Marley's action, it's all for free, all at Brothers and Bets YouTube channel, which you must subscribe to. Jose, if you could you put the Brothers and Bets link here? Can we support our guys? Our guy Marley here is just giving out winner after winner after winner, week after week after week, and he asks for nothing in return. Can you please support the Brothers and Bets YouTube channel here for all that he's done for us? Marley, my man, excellent work. I'm going to pop your X handle here in the chat. Please, last words for the capper supporting the show, and let them know where they can find Brothers and Bets and what's going on at Brothers and Bets.
Already, man. Brothers and Bets streaming on all social media platforms. Find me personally at Marley_Bets. Me and Coach go start the NBA college basketball. Once college football wraps up, we'll do that show a couple days. And then me and LJ, man, at the Raw Word Sports Podcast, we do NFL on Fridays where we pretty much break down the whole card. And that's it, man. As always, y'all already know what it is. Let's beat Vegas, goddammit.
Our guy, Marley Betts, very thankful. Speaking of being thankful, one of the stars of our most popular show, the Locker Room Talk podcast, they all cap NFL, and they do a great job at NFL. We have brought, a couple of them on. We got back-to-back cappers now on our show here. But I truly feel that this next guest being a revelation. I mean, what he's doing on the UFC show is a big part of the reason why it's so successful. And when you watch him cap NFL, you'll know why we want him on this channel more and more and more. Please welcome here one of the stars of the Locker Room podcast, our guy, Just My 2 Cents. 2 Cents, what's happening, man? How are you?
Jimmy, dude, thank you for the kind words. How in the fuck am I supposed to follow Marley, dude? Shout out to him. I'm going to do my best. Shout out to him. I just followed Marley on Twitter or X or whatever. I suggest y'all do the same. But Jimmy, dude, shout out to you, man. Shout out to the whole pub. Shout out to everyone in the chat, man. Smash the like button if you haven't already, boys. Thank you so much for having me back, dude. How are you today? 2 Cents, 2 shows, 2 winning shows. I mean, that's why you're back. We bring winners back over and over and over again and over and over again. And that's what, you've delivered here. You've been sharp. You've got 2 games that you're focusing on. They're monstrous games. Let's get right into Chiefs Broncos. Take it away, my man.
Sure. Well, Jimmy, I appreciate you having me back. And like you said, I had 2 winning weeks, and a large part of that was due to my player props. And that's what I'm coming back with this week, boys. I'm going player props, and someone said in the chat, dude, someone mentioned player incentives. Well, the hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. That's where I'm going in this first game. It's Chiefs at Broncos. I think the Broncos win. They need the win. The Chiefs are sitting their starters, but I'm not going after a side here. I mentioned player incentives. That's what I'm attacking. The Chiefs are sitting starters, and they're sitting their secondary. Like, they have players that are doubtful. Trent McDuffie, their cornerback, and safety Justin Reed are both doubtful. I don't know if they're going to end up playing, but they're probably not. Yeah. And their star corner, Jalen Watson, is out. He has been ruled out.
So Cortland Sutton is a player that has already hit some incentives this year, and he needs another one for $500,000. So this is what I did. Cortland Sutton needs 82 yards for $500,000. Sean Payton helped Emmanuel Sanders get his player incentive back in 2021. I think he helped Sutton get it here. Chiefs got a banged up secondary. I think he has a 100-yard game, dude. I did not want to have to do this, but I would rather get up here and look like a fucking dumbass and embarrass myself than lie to you. I bet this at a horrible line. You can get this at a way, way better line. But I took Cortland Sutton over 81.5 receiving yards on FanDuel for -113. They've adjusted the line on their site better than that now. Dude, you can get this on BetMGM at +125. I'm looking at it right now. They have a whole list. Someone said in the chat, shout out to them, whoever it was. BetMGM has a whole list of player bonus milestones. Cortland Sutton's one of them. You can get Cortland Sutton 82 plus receiving yards for +125.5 if you like that bet. My dumbass took it at -113. But like I said, I'd rather look stupid than lie to you. I'd rather quit you than shit you, Jimmy. So that's my play there.
Well, respect. We give out whatever line's available right now, unless it's being tweeted out. So we can give you that +125 at 81.5 as a sign that this is a bet that's,
I'm probably going to reload on it. I don't often do that, but I'm probably going to end up doing that with that line.
It's locked at the sharpest offshore. So that's a sign that they can't put it at a number where they're comfortable with. They claim that they only partially limit their best bettors and they don't kick anybody out. And so they're not letting anyone bet that prop. Over 81.5 at +125 here. Is that your only prop here in Chiefs Broncos?
That is the only play for me.
We move on to the big one, 2 cents. Vikings, Lions. And can't wait to hear your take on this. Take it away.
Well, I'm going to, I hate to spoil things, but I'm going with player props here too, Jimmy. I'm not touching this game. Dude, the Lions have been fucking kicking my ass trying to fade them. I'm just sick of it. I'm not going to have it anymore. So I'm going player props again. I'm following another trend that helped me be successful these last couple weeks. Jared Goff for like a month straight, 4 games, I think, has thrown at least 3 touchdown passes. And it ain't stopping here, Jimmy. The Lions need this win. Fucking David Montgomery's out. The Vikings passing defense is okay. It's not the best. It's not the worst. Like, they don't give up the worst amount of touchdowns, but they give up quite a bit of yardage. I think Goff's going to have a day through the air. I took Jared Goff 3+ passing touchdowns +188, and that was on FanDuel. So shout out to them for that line.
At +188, 3 or more passing touchdowns for Jared Goff. Anything else you're looking at here in Vikings Lions?
Dude, that's it, Jimmy. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. You said you mentioned running over a little bit. Well, I hope that'll help you catch up a little bit on time, but that's all I got, dude.
You know what? All that is important here is winning.
Just win, baby.
Yeah, so cut it down to 2 games, 2 props, and get paid. You'll be 3 for 3 if one of these hits. One of these hits, you'll be 3 for 3 on our show, and we'll need you back in the playoffs. Excellent work from our guy. Just my 2 cents. The star, one of the stars of our #1 show on the channel, the Locker Room Talk podcast. I'm gonna pop just my 2 cents X handle in the chat. Please support our guy, just my 2 cents. A great friend of the channel and. One of the stars of the channel. Any last words for the Capper supporting the show, my man?
Dude, shout out to you guys. Thank you for all the support you showed Jimmy and everybody else, all the other programs and shows, including the Locker Room Talk podcast. We will be back this next week, this Tuesday.
Beautiful.
11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Pub Sports Radio. Yeah, man. So it'll be the Dern Hebus rematch at the Apex. We'll be back for that. So shout out to the boys. Shout out to you, man. Good luck to you and everyone else today. Shout out to the whole fucking pub. El Jefe Jeff Slaughter, of course. Thank you, and appreciate it, Jimmy.
There he is. Just my 2 cents. 2 winning shows. Looking for his 3rd winning show. He went 2-1 plus 1.54 units last week. We move on to another co-star of the Locker Room Talk podcast and our capper who's focusing solely on, not solely, but heavily on incentives here. I know you guys have been talking about incentives in the chat. This is just the man for you. Please welcome from South Jersey. Can't wait to rock with him on the live stream this evening. Please welcome our friend Billy Brisbane to the show. Brizzy, what's good, man? How are you?
What's up? Gotta apologize to you, Jim. Been a busy year this past year. Haven't been able to be on the Sunday shows as much as I have been in past years. So hopefully we can come through in week 18 here.
We believe in you, Brizzy. Let's get right to work. We go to New Orleans, Tampa. It was the first game we talked about on the show. We've already set this up, moving towards 14.5, slightly moving towards the over here in Raymond James Stadium. So take it away, Saints, Buccaneers.
Yeah, right off the bat, I mean, it's no secret that Week 18 is a big opportunity for Mike Evans to make some cash this weekend, and the books are kind of hip to it as well. It should be similar things coming for Tampa, though, this week, and I expect them to light up the scoreboard. I took Mike Evans over 6.5 receptions here at -120 at FanDuel Sportsbook. Granted, he needs 90 and basically the 100-yard bonus, but in reality, homie's got to get at least 7 balls to get there, man. And Mike Evans, he can get it all in one catch. Anybody can get it all in one catch. But I think Mike Evans just gets fed today, and that's going to lead into the second play here, which is a same-game parlay at +150 here of Baker Mayfield over 1.5 passing touchdowns, Mike Evans anytime touchdown, and Tampa Bay team total all 26.5 at +150 there for 3-leg same-game parlay. Also on this list is Marquez Valdes-Scantling, anytime touchdown. I left it off my list personally because anything connected with fucking Spencer Rattler, I don't want to have any parts with it. You guys see me sit here throughout a 3-hour fucking stream and sweat into the last drive of the game to cash above means prop. That was it for me with Spencer Rattler. I'm going to let that Marquez Valdes-Scantling anytime touchdown at +450 just float along in the market space. But if somebody wants to take it out there in the chat, he only needs 1 touchdown for a $250K bonus, which seems like a good same-game parlay opportunity to combine some of the props that I just talked about.
I love it. I love it. Sorry. The Bucs team total was 26.5.
Alt line.
Yes. And that give you a +150?
Yeah, +150, FanDuel Sportsbook.
You are locked and loaded. By the way, you guys, I got a great line bet. Rarely does 365 give me great lines. I got the over 40 in Chiefs Broncos to double down on my Chiefs team total over at over 40 -110 at 365. I also got Houston Texans +0.5 on the first half spread. I took that over the team total +0.5 on the first half spread at -110. Those are much better lines than I'm looking at offshore and surprise. So I bet both of those. That's 7th and 8th bets here on the card. Next up for us here, Giants Eagles. I made the mistake of betting this one too early. I really thought it was moving towards the Giants. That was not the case. We now have, wow, there's been a huge move back to the Giants. Wow. Oh, that makes me feel so much better. Oh, good God. Wow. Is that? Oh, no. Is that? Let me see this again. No, I'm tripping. God damn it. I'm looking at first half. Okay. No, it's terrible. I should have waited. Could have got a +3 with regular VIG. Instead, I got a 2.5 with -115. Wasn't the ass clown. I screwed this one up. Giants Eagles, Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Take it away for us here, Brizzy.
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing about Week 18 is in years past, it's a little bit different with there being a couple more extra games on the card for these NFL teams. We need to start attacking more of like single season records that are going to be broken within the next 2 to 3 years rather than contract incentives. Records are more important than money for millionaires that are already making a shitload of money. And this is just a prime example. The Eagles backups, I think, are just more good enough to be talented to beat this awful fucking Giants roster, man. They got their moral victory last week. There's 2 sides of the coin. Does our quarterback play the same exact way as he did last week? Probably not. Does Drew Lock play the same exact way as he did last week? Probably not. And just because the backups are in doesn't mean that they're not auditioning for playoff roles. Man, I'll tell you right now, first play in this game is going to be Will Shipley, anytime touchdown, plus 190. He is auditioning for the backup role for next season. He is trying to go off in this game. He's going to get this first career touchdown. We're going to cash this one at plus 190. And to make things even better, this is like the edge in like sports betting, I would say, to like living in America, I would just say, of like when you go on your Instagram stories and you see personally, or your Snapchat stories and you see personally, how are these fans reacting to week 18? I see, and look, they're getting pumped up like this is the playoffs already in the Philadelphia Stadium. It's Black Monday tomorrow in week 18, meaning all these coaches, all these shitty ass coaches are going to be fired tomorrow morning. We got the black jerseys on. I think we're putting these boys in a coffin today here. Give me the Philadelphia Eagles minus 2.5. Will Shipley anytime touchdown plus 190. Black Monday we go.
I'm going to find you the best line for Eagles minus 2.5. You know, historically, this has been a spot that has hurt me, expecting the team at home in week 18 with nothing to play for, to kind of lay down. But there sure are a lot of players out for the Eagles. One reminder, Hurts, Barkley. We stick with the offense. Hurts,
get them off the field. You remember what happened last year when we tried to play them in week 18? Everybody got hurt by halftime.
Yeah.
Now and just let them start from the beginning of the game and just let them audition, man. A lot of these kids.
I like
Johnny Wilson, 6'7", outside wide receiver. We don't need AJ Brown.
Oh, no doubt about that. But you take Mailata, Lane Johnson, and Landon Dickerson off the offensive line. I'm concerned with how. Look, the line's moving towards the Eagles. You are probably in great shape. I'm the line shop for you for the minus 2.5, but I felt enough reason to expect the Giants with Drew Lock to try here, but I'm definitely concerned. Let's roll on, though. 4:25 p.m. Eastern, we have Chiefs, Broncos, Mile High, Denver, Colorado. I just double down on the over, so take it away for us, Brizzy.
This game, actually, the player prop that I'm looking for in this game is Carson Steele rush attempts, and it's still not available, and it probably won't be available until about like 10 to 15 minutes before the game, so we're going to skip on this game.
We'll skip on this game. I will try to see if I can find that as well. So Carson Steele, look here. Let's roll on then. Seahawks, Rams. We've already set this one up. Take it away.
Yeah, we're going to be quick with this one. No secret. Gino needs some fucking bread in his pocket today, man. And, man, these are some pretty attainable incentives, man. He only needs 180 passing yards and a Seahawks win for I believe, a $2 million bonus. So we went with a same game parlay here of Geno Smith, 200 passing yards, and Seattle minus 2.5, minus 145 at Bet365. And then to double up on this one, this is kind of what I hinted to in the last game a little bit. We need to start focusing on single season records over incentives. The bookies know what the incentives are. We all know what the incentives are. A record is more important than a fucking incentive for a millionaire. People want to be remembered in the history books, man. And Jackson Smith in the Jigba has that opportunity today, man. He needs 5 receptions to break the Seattle single season record here. And I think he goes over 5.5 receptions at minus 115 at Bet365.
Okay. Smith in the Jigba over how many receptions? Sorry.
5.5 minus 115 Bet365.
You are locked in. And Geno Smith over 1.5 passing touchdown. Seahawks minus 2.5.
No, Geno Smith 200 passing yards.
Oh shit! Sorry,
Seattle minus 2.5. He needs 180 for a incentive.
And what was that together? That parlay
minus 145 Bet365.
Minus 145 locked and loaded. We close with Brizzy. We have guns on deck. We close with Brizzy on the game of the night. We'll be right here rocking on our live stream. Take it away, Vikings Lions.
Yeah, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Just because the Lions defense has some injuries doesn't mean it's like you bet the money line of the other team every week. You have to handicap the game. And a lot of these times it's either a team total over or the over on the full game total. And I'm going right back to the well here. Minnesota Vikings team total over 26.5 minus 136. Since week 11, the injury to Alex Zone. Hey, don't fucking quote me on these defensive fucking names. But all I know is he was very important because they were top 5 in red zone allowed EPA for defense to 23rd since that injury, and the defense ranks 30th while giving up 5.7 yards or 3.7 yards, 20-plus passing yards per game. It's something fucking ridiculous, man. This defense is trash. Bet the Vikings team total over. If you want to bet the player props and all that, go ahead. I mean, this game is projected 2 touchdowns higher than any other game on the slate today. So, for example, in daily fantasy, if you were on any daily fantasy fucking model, SimSaber, Line Star app, shit, your local Joe Schmo Twitter account, everything is going to pop up Detroit Lions and Vikings in this game. If you wanted to be contrarian, Mr. Contrarian, and bet it under and have a shitty Sunday night, go ahead. But I'm going to take the Vikings team total over.
I thought about having a shitty night too, and I decided not to. What did you get? This is another sign that, this offshore here, sharp offshore, very uncomfortable with the team totals who've been getting hammered. They're offering the Vikings team total over 23.5, but at minus 221, and that's it. They're offering the Lions over 27.5 at minus 160. That's it. Nothing. What did you get the team total at?
26.5 minus 136. I would odd shop that. You could probably get better odds. I just had money on my FanDuel account.
You are locked and loaded. Oh, Razor giving us a hint of what he might be on with the tick, 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 tick.
I don't blame him, man. I've never clicked onto a fantasy slate for FanDuel and seen so many people from the Sunday night football game pop up in like the optimal.
I almost moved on to 58.5. Now it's 56.5. I just got to stop here. Team total over 26.5 minus 136 here for the Vikings.
Can I give a top lean out because this is something that's probably going to get bet like probably 5 to 10 minutes before the game even starts. Aaron Rodgers needs 1 passing touchdown for his 500th career passing touchdown or whatever. And I'm definitely going to be putting in a same game parlay of Aaron Rodgers, 1 passing touchdown, 150 passing yards, and the New York Jets team total over 16.5. I just got to odd chop it.
I love it. Locked and loaded here. We do have official picks. Vikings team total over 26.5. Jackson Smith and the Jigba over 5.5 receptions. Geno Smith, 200 passing yards. Seahawks minus 2.5. SGP minus 145. The Carson Steele I can't find. It seems like a good play.
On the rush attempts. Like, what the fuck, man? He's about to be lead running back.
Are you going to tweet this out and make that official when it's available?
To be honest with you, Jim, with the way my day's set up, probably not. Like,
okay, that's all good.
You ain't get no tweets unless you bought a fucking package from me or you watched this video. You probably don't know what the fuck I'm on today. So let's just leave it at that.
Okay, and then the Eagles minus 2.5 here. We can get that for you minus 123. Minus 120. Will Shipley anytime touchdown plus 190, and Mike Evans over 6.5 receptions minus 120, and his SGP there. Mayfield over 1.5 touchdowns. Evans anytime touchdown. Bucks team total over 26.5 at plus 150. You are in business, Brizzy. Thank you so much for rocking with us. We're excited to have the Locker Room Talk podcast back in business. Are you rocking with us on our live stream tonight?
Yes, we will be back here Sunday Night Football, and it is a last regular season stream of the year, right? No Monday Night Football tomorrow.
Yeah, last regular season stream of the year, but we'll be in business here come playoff time. I can't wait.
That means we get more betting with the bags here at Pub Sports Radio Tuesday.
I'm excited.
Friday.
I'm excited to be back in action. Brizzy, you're the man. Please support our guy on X at getting_Bills_. Let's bring on our next guest. Excited to have him rocking with us. We had him on week 16. He's back in business with us. He had his NFL show this morning. It's a great show. Now he's rocking with us live. Please welcome our guy, Guns.
Back in the building, boys. Shout out to Jimmy the Bag. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to Pub Sports. I am ready to get into the week 18 slate, and then we can get into a little bit of NFL playoffs on board. Jimmy, let's get it.
I love it. Saturated saying, are we still doing the playoff pool for NFL? Of course. Our NFL pool, our confidence pool, our second annual confidence pool, that will be promoted heavily throughout the week. Just $50 to enter. We'll go over all the rules in that, but we're going to be back in business for sure. Guns, take it away. Saints, Buccaneers, you already set it up. Let's hear the moves.
Sir. We got a good one here at Raymond James Stadium at 1 p.m. Listen, you have a New Orleans team that just wants to get the season over with. They're 5-11 going against a Tampa team that is playing for the division, 9-7 on the year with a plus 7 point differential and a plus 55 net yard average. Now you look at Tampa, they're just on a roll. 5 out of the last 6 games, won 4-2 ATS. And you look at their offensive performance, they put up 472 yards of total offense their last 4 games and over 400 yards of total offense in 6 straight games. And you think this defense is sleeping? Nah. This defense is actually playing exceptionally well, holding their opponents to 253 yards per game in the last 4 and under 300 yards of total offense in 4 out of the last 6 games. Now you got a New Orleans team that is starting Spencer Rattler. And in his starts, this New Orleans team has underperformed. 0-6 straight up, 1-5 ATS, losing by an average margin of 19.1 points per game. And one of those Rattler starts was against the Tampa Bay Bucks. And guess what happened? 3.5-point home dog in that situation, lost 51-27. This is the second time that Tampa has been a double-digit favorite this year. The last time was last week against the Carolina Panthers. And guess what happened? 10-point favorites thumped them 48-14. This is simply one of the hottest teams in the NFL, and they're going to be the team that's going to be representing the NFC South, in my opinion. I got the line at 14. It doesn't matter what the line is right now. This is a 3-score win here by the Tampa Bay Bucks here today. I also like the prop with Mike Evans over on his receiving yards and Bucky Irvin on his rush yards. I think this is going to be an offensive juggernaut here today with the Bucks. So Tampa, -14 as the play.
-14 here for the Bucks. I'm gonna try to find lower vig because it's moving very quickly over the. I can find a -131 here. I assume I can find better here if I keep shopping. The Evans prop, of course, it's skyrocketed throughout the week. Do you want to make the Irving or Evans props?
Let's make those official. I got 85.5 and 96.5 for Evans. Bucky was 85.5 rush yards and 96.5. I bought that like 5 minutes ago. I think it was on.
Okay. Wow, it's great that you could still find the 96.5 because I've got up to.
It was on FanDuel. FanDuel's got some lower numbers. I think the 85.5 I might have got on BetMGM. I think that's where.
Okay, so and then Bucky just straight rushing?
Yeah, just straight rushing yards. 85
over 85.5. So that was both with -110 vig.
Yes, correct.
Cool. -110 vig locked and low. So that's a great line still for Evans. So we got the 91.5 on Wednesday, but we were saying, is this going to be a 10-yard beat? And it's up over 100 at 365. So great find there. Yeah. Bucky Irving over 85.5, Mike Evans over 96.5, and the Bucks -14. We roll on to Chiefs Broncos. Can't wait to hear your take. Take it away.
Yeah, with the Chiefs Broncos, Mile High Stadium is going to be thumping here in this divisional matchup. However, Kansas City really doesn't care about this game, but Denver does. Look at Denver. They've just been really good at home this year. Plus 11-point differential, 5-2 ATS at home, but they're 5-0 ATS as a home favorite this year, winning by an average margin in those situations by 17.8 points per game. Then you got to look at the motivational factor. We know where Denver is. Denver needs to win this game. They're in the playoffs. Kansas City, they've already got the first round bye locked in. They are the number 1 seed. They'll be without Mahomes, Kelsey, Pacheco, Hunt, and 6 defensive starters. I just think that with this Denver team, they're going to come in here and thump. When these two teams met in November, it was a horrible finish there for Denver. Ready to kick it in Arrowhead for the win, and it gets blocked. And that is how the game ended. They were 7-point road dogs in this situation, and the line now is double-digit favorite here for Denver. And then you got KC having travel issues getting to this game. They do not want to play. If they could hit the forfeit button, they would. But Denver is going to come out here and thump, and I mean thump this team here today in Mile High and get themselves into the AFC playoffs. Give me Denver -10.5 as the play.
You are locked in. 10.5 available right now at -113. And you are locked in Guns. Guns, you close up your card with Chargers Raiders, my friend. Chargers Raiders, Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. Take it away.
Yeah, I've been taking advantage of the AFC West. I call it the AFC best because I love betting on this division here. And we got a good one here in Allegiant Stadium where you have a Chargers team that is 10-6 on the year, plus 5-point differential, -13 net yard average. They do get outgained, but they are a outperforming team. And then they're going against a Raiders team that, yes, they have a little bit of highs, back-to-back wins, but they're 4-12 on the year with a -7-point differential, -19 net yard average. And then you have the Chargers. They've performed much better on the road than they have at home. They have a +9-point differential and a +30 net yard average on the road this year. And this is just a perfect situational spot in terms of playoff positioning. You remember what happened last night? Pittsburgh lost in their game versus Cincinnati, and that opened the door for the Chargers to get themselves in a position where if they win this game, they get to play the Houston Texans, and by God, do they want to play against Houston in the playoffs in the wild card round, and I think they are going to be motivated to do so. And these two teams did meet in September. Chargers won the game 22-10. They were 3-point home favorites in that situation, and now you're seeing them as a 6.5, 7-point favorite on the road. That tells you everything you did know. It's supposed to go in the reverse direction, not in the other direction. And then you just look at what the Raiders are, 2-8 as a dog, when they are a dog of 8 points or less. And then you have the Chargers 9-2 ATS as a favorite, and 4-1 ATS as a favorite on the road, 6-2 ATS on the road when they have covered their last 4 road games. I think this is going to be a Chargers spot. They are super motivated, and they got a Raiders team that just wants the season to be over with. So give me the Chargers -6.5, -7 as the play.
-6.5 readily available at -114 for our guy Guns picks. I just popped Guns X handle here in the chat. Please support our guy Guns, a big part of our college breakdowns. We have Dabby Cab closing up our show here. I love watching Guns and Dabby Cab working together. Guns on the Chargers -6.5, Broncos -10.5, Bucks -14, Bucky Irving over 85.5 rushing yards, Mike Evans over 96.5 receiving yards. Guns, thank you so much for rocking with us. Tell us a little bit about where everybody can find you and what shows you're rocking right now.
Yeah, go find me on I have a YouTube channel, at the Guns Picks channel. Go check that out. We put out content all the time. I do the prop gun. I do shows with the Shark, Knowledge for College show. We're going to do a college football breakdown on Thursday with the semifinals coming up, and my Irish going against the Penn State Nittany Lions. Can't wait for that one. And just go check me out on X at Guns Picks. Appreciate you having me on, Jimmy. Let's cash some tickets. Let's dominate the boat. And as always, let's keep dancing. Bang!
There he is. Guns Picks in the house. Let's roll on. Oh, by the way, we did receive from Matty Ice the taint play of the day. It is Jaden Daniels over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Taint play of the day. Jaden Daniels over 1.5 passing touchdowns. He's been on a monster run. Matty Ice has been taint. Jaden Daniels over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Bring on our next guest. He is the star of college sports here on our channel, and he crushes them. But he's also great at NFL, and we haven't had him on since week 4 here. Week 4, he had a tough week on the show, and we haven't had him back. And now we have him back. Hopefully, he's a great day here, and then we roll him into the playoffs. Please welcome the star of Medicate Mondays starting tomorrow, 11:10 a.m., our friend Dabby Cab to the show. Dabby Cab, how are you? You're muted, my man. All right, let's get the.
See, that's a Jose mute because my mic's not muted, man. See, this is one of those ones I feel like it's a conspiracy theory, man. Shout out to you guys in the chat. What we got? 10 minutes until kickoff today. Doug Wise, AOD, Justin. Hey, Stacks swept yesterday, so shout out to our guy Stacks.
No doubt. Stacks is a monster, man. Dabby Cabin, it's great to have you, man. You have a player prop for us here in Seahawks Rams, and we have a best bet from Jose Bouquet. Dabby Cab, take it away. We've set this one up. Seahawks Rams.
Yeah, I tell you what, if I hear about Mike Evans' incentive one more time, I swear to God I'm going to take the under. I swear to God I'm going to take the under. Not really. I wouldn't do that, but this is week 18. It's kind of like capping like college playoff bowl, or not playoff. It's kind of like capping the bowl games between the SEC school and the ACC school that doesn't care, right? Who's playing, who's not, who's motivated, all that stuff, right? Well, here's the Rams, a team that don't care. And they've made it very clear that they don't care about this game. They don't care about their seeding. They've said they're fine playing whoever they're going to play in round 1. It is what it is, right? Then you got the Seahawks on the other side. They're toast, right? But we talk about these incentives. Geno Smith's incentive is much more reasonable to me than somebody like Mike Evans' incentive here. Geno Smith, I think it's 241.5 right now still. That's what I bet it at. You guys can check it. I'll endorse it, whatever you can get. But 241.5 is what I bet it at on his passing yards. He needs 100 and what is it? Let me pull it up. 181 to hit that $2 million incentive. And this is one of those things where I keep bringing up Mike Evans. We all know he needs those 80 yards today, right? His year average is 70 yards a game, and today he set it right about 100. So there is a huge tax on him. Whereas Geno Smith, his number's under his year average right here for 241.5. And he doesn't just have this $2 million lined up for him. He's actually got $6 million in incentives here. All he's got to do is win this football game for one of them, right? You got a Rams team that's depleted. He wins the game. He gets $2 million. He keeps his passing percentage above 70%. He gets another $2 million. He throws over 181 yards. He gets another $2 million. This is an easy spot, in my opinion, for Geno Smith, just to have a really good day against the Rams here. So I like a lot of his other props too, if you want to look at them, but I'm going to keep it simple. Geno Smith passing prop, 241.5.
And just to give you guys another idea here about, people questioning these incentive props and whether they should be moving on them. Even the Geno Smith passing yards is locked at the sharpest offshore in the land. Why? Because they're afraid to put it out because their claim to fame is not kicking out winners. So they won't let people bet the spots that they think are going to win. This is one of them. Geno Smith over 241.5 passing yards here from Dabby Cab. Dabby Cab, anything else you want to rock with us here with, or you just want to come on and deliver a winner? And,
hey, 1-0 will work, right? And this is
yeah.
the one, like I said, this is the one I feel the most comfortable with. You're getting too much juice on like the Evans and some of these other people that I looked into for these incentive props. But I love the fact that winning the game adds another $2 million to it, right? Because that right there at the end of it keeps the motivation for me for the Seahawks here.
Oh, it's a great look, Dabby Cab. A great look. Tell us a little bit about Medicate Monday tomorrow morning at 11:10.
Oh man, if you guys tuned in yesterday to the starting five, all about the hoops. Shout out to my guy Nunya in the chat, man. If you guys tuned in yesterday, there were some people that said we were cutting up, having some fun. Monday's even more of that. Monday we have a lot of fun. We still cap, we still get to the action. But if you guys haven't tuned in on Monday, I don't know what you're doing. Just tune in tomorrow morning. We'll be here. And then also on Saturdays, starting five, man. And you said, I do the college football and college basketball. I got to shout out our guy Wine Time, man. All year through college football, he killed it. Yesterday, he came on and went 4-1 again. And he gave out the Bulls at plus 170. I mean, yesterday, as a group, we went 13-6. And one of them was a plus 170. So hell of a show.
I love it. Keep up the great work, Dabby Cab, and thank you for jumping on with us, my man.
Hell yeah, Jimmy. Love you guys.
There he is, Dabra Cadabra. We close up shop for our final regular season NFL Pub Up of the Year with our producer and our great friend, young Jose Snips Rose Bouquet. How are you, Jose?
Doing well. I'm going to talk about a game no one's talked about because I've got just a massive set of balls that I'm willing to bet this game, apparently, when no one else will.
I find that impossible to believe that your balls are enormous. I don't know why. I just you just don't look like. But I thought you had big voluptuous breasts, and it turns out that's not the case.
That's true. They do call me Big Balls Bouquet on the streets here.
Do they?
A good, yeah,
Jeez, I
it
didn't
is
know that.
what it is because I'm betting Jets Dolphins. Again, no one has the heart to talk about this game. No one wants to talk about Aaron Rodgers riding off into the sunset with his best buddy, Davante Adams. No one wants to talk about it, Jimmy. Makes me sick. You know what's going to happen today, Jim?
What's going to happen?
The Jets are going to win a stupid, meaningless football game, ruin their draft position anymore. Aaron Rodgers is going to have a decent little game, and he's going to throw a touchdown to Davante Adams. So here's what's going to happen. Here are your plays. One last time, I'm letting the Jets hurt me. One last time, I'm letting the bad man into my life. Jets money line for me yet again. And Davante Adams to be the first Jets touchdown scorer, plus 250, both separate plays. I'm on both here. Again, Davante Adams' first Jets touchdown here because he is going to be force-fed the rock for Aaron Rodgers, like 500 touchdown, whatever it is. He sucks. The Jets are a dumpster fire franchise, but the Dolphins are just as bad as they are. And I can see the Jets ruining their draft position here.
The Jets money line we can get you at minus 117, and you got plus 250 on the Adams first touchdown score.
Yep. That is our friends at BetMGM. Shout out to them. Go sign up today with our friends at BetMGM using that link in the chat right now.
I love it, man. I love it. Anything else you would like to add? We are a minute away from kickoff.
No, I'm good right there. I was interested, obviously, in the Seattle Seahawks, the Geno props, little Mike Evans receptions. I will, I guess, clue everyone in. Everyone loves some friends and family parlay, Jimmy. Friends and family parlay of the week this week. Jackson Smith and Jigba over 63.5. Jake Elliott over 1.5 field goals. The Washington Commanders -7. White over 21.5 rushing yards. And that is Rashad White. I had to think about who that was for a second. And my selection this week, Jimmy, the over in Denver, KC. Your confidence inspired me. It was going to be Sutton related for me. It's going to be a prop, maybe Terry touchdown, but your confidence in the over inspired me.
I love to hear that, Jose, my friend. Jets money line and Jets first touchdown score to be Devontae Adams at +250. You know, Jose, I keep my ear to the streets, and I've never heard you called Big Balls Bouquet before. But I guess
we live on different streets. You know?
Stay with me here as we review all action here on our final regular season NFL Pub of the Year. Thank you to our guests, Bobano, Clint, Marley, 2 Cents, Brizzy, Guns, Dabby Cab, and Jose Bouquet. I added 2 bets here on the show, the over 40 in Chiefs, Broncos, and Texans first half +0.5 at -110. Stacks play of the day. Scary Terry McLaurin. Anytime touchdown at +114. And the Packers at -110 for Stacks. Bobano gave us Saints, Buccaneers over 44, Colts team total over 23.5 and the over 44.5, Falcons first half team total over 13.5 and the over 48, Commanders -6.5 -114, Giants +3 at -110 and the over 39.5 at -112 in Chiefs, Broncos, and the Lions double result +115. I can't wait for the live stream tonight. Going to be extremely enjoyable. We got also action from Gorky. His only play in the NFL is the Minnesota Vikings. Harold Williams on the Lions -2.5 and the Lions money line. Slatsy on the Vikings team total. Sancho on the Vikings money line. It's going to be a very fun game this evening. Then we have next up, we had Clint McLean, Panthers +7.5, Panthers money line, Jalen Colker touchdown +320. We have Bears +10, Bears money line +375, Jackson Smith Najigba 60+ receiving yards -125 and a TD at +175. We also heard from Dougie Wise, free bands play today is Vikings +135, and that rolled right into our guy Clint, who's on the Vikings money line, Vikings +3, Goff interception and Justin Jefferson touchdown, and 2+ at +550. And shout out to our guy WT, blessing our action with a $10 dono. WT, thank you, my friend. You are a great friend of the show, and I can't wait to get back to Costa Rica. It should be at some point. Ella's got to remember, man. Just got to remember. Also, the 6-point teaser was Commanders -0.5 and Seahawks -1 from Clint. Marley, our leader in NFL Pub, Commanders -6.5. Texans first half on the 3-way at +120, and Texans first half team total over 7.5 -125. Chiefs +11 at -107. Chargers -6.5 -114. Vikings +3 at -108. Just my 2 cents gave us Cortland Sutton over 81.5, receiving yards at +125, and Goff 3 or more touchdowns at +188. Brizzy gave us Mike Evans over 6.5 receptions. His SGP in that game, Mayfield over 1.5 touchdowns. Evans anytime touchdown. Bucks team total over 26.5. He got that at +150. Will Shipley anytime touchdown +190. Eagles -2.5 -123. He's looking at the Carson Steele props, but not going to give it out. Geno Smith 200 passing yards and Seahawks -2.5, and Jackson Smith Najigba over 5.5 receptions here for our guy Brizzy, who's also on the team total Vikings over 26.5. Guns give us Bucks -14, Bucky Irving rushing over 85.5, Mike Evans over 96.5, Broncos -10.5, Chargers -6.5. Dabby Cab gave us the Geno Smith over 241.5 passing yards. Jose Bouquet gave us Jets money line and Devontae Adams be the Jets first touchdown score, and Jaden Daniels over 1.5 passing touchdowns from Matty Ice is the taint play of the day. Thank you guys so much for rocking with us. Just my 2 cents. You're a monster. Go 3-0 on your shows here. We'd be very excited about that. Christopher Comentini, Jared JB, Thank you guys for rocking with us. Saturated. Nunya going for the title today. What
Very
a guy
exciting.
that is. That's so exciting.
I
And
hope maybe Nunya can jump on the live stream tonight if he's clinched. That'd be great, Nunya.
Oh, that would be so much fun. Great call. I'm gonna get that. Great call.
So Nunya, if you're still watching, hopefully you could jump on for a bit. That'd be awesome.
Oh, that'd be fun. Bill the Kill, Tori Coker, Fernando Mendoza, Harold Williams, Old E.T., Justin McKelvey, Christopher Comentini, Sportsman of the Year, Lucky Lefty. Please shout out Tata and your sweet family, man. Respect. Bo Jackson, Sancho, Dougie Wise, Morgan Spooner with his NCAA action. I've been, God, we have such an incredible group. I was like, if you just take Morgan's action, copy and paste it, and then go over all those games and decide which ones that you agree with and move on it, your ROI is going to be insane. So he's just giving us his action. I love it. We have Gamble, Stein, Red Beard. He's on Jets money line, and Adams anytime touchdown. Rogers over 1.5 passing touchdown plus 350 for Red Beard. He believes in you. He believes in you, Jose. Lit Picks. Thank you. WT, thank you for the donut. And Gorky, thank you as well. Man Bear Pig, Saturated plus money. Chill Will. A shout out to Lil Domo and Chill Will. A shout out to all you guys. Truly, the support that you give us gives us the opportunity to do these shows, and we're extremely thankful. And we'll never stop being thankful. And hopefully, some of you can get down to San Antonio for Pubapalooza 4, so we can buy you a beverage and cheers you and enjoy gambling, because there's going to be a whole lot of gambling going on. Southtown 101 in that back room with those beautiful.
Yep. It's funny, Jimmy. More of my buddies from when I grew up in Virginia, more of them are coming. Matt came last year, who you met.
Yeah.
And now more of them are starting to be like, man, I want to go. It's just a weekend of hanging out in a bar and gambling with a bunch of your friends. I mean, what's better than that?
I can tell you nothing. There's nothing better. It's the best week of the year. I just need to eat more and drink less.
And I'm going to just repeat that to you throughout the whole weekend. Eat more, drink less. I'll smell you every once in a while.
Thank you. Actually, you know what? I just need to eat more. How about that? Let's get the drinking less. I don't need that in my head. You don't need to repeat that. Eat more. Let's just stick with that one.
Okay. Yeah, it's gonna be exciting. I wish everyone luck here as well. Spenny, of course, is training up in the mountains of Himalaya right now.
He's climbing as we speak.
Yeah, he's trying to climb and get better at ping pong to try to challenge you. I'm sure there'll be people that are there for NBA Jam.
Oh yeah, I'm ready to go. I was training last night.
And maybe if we're lucky, we'll go to an ice rink, and I can show you what's up.
Well, we're gonna have to up the ante. It's gotta be more than $100 if you want me to leave the bar.
Well, we'll see.
Okay,
we'll see. I'm a rather poor child, so we'll see.
I'm afraid to look at the live. This is not work.
This is 7 minutes in, so this is dangerous here.
Yeah, let's just take a quick look. Nothing. No concerns. Very little scoring. Colts up 7-0.
Wow.
Colts up 7-0. Texans have the ball, so the Titans must have done. Oh, Texans are in Tennessee territory. There we go. Let's catch that first half. Yeah. Patriots are doing nothing on their opening drive. The Giants are not doing much. The Packers, 4th and 7 at their own 35, doing squat. Cowboys, I guess the Commanders did nothing. Cowboys have the ball now. Falcons in Panthers territory. Perfect, beautiful. This is, you know what? I'm gonna cash them all tonight. I'm gonna cash them all. I'm gonna come up. I'm gonna come on the show, and I, my balls, I guess, are not the size, because on the streets nobody. I marble balls is what they were calling me on these streets.
Wow.
Marble balls, yeah. And I took
marble
offense.
Balls, Jimmy.
I took offense, man. I had to sharpen chopsticks, stab a few fellas. I can feel the pressure. When we did our first NFL pop-up or last NFL pop-up show, or no, last NFL Cappers contest show,
yeah.
The pressure was off. We did get a couple of negative responses for our show, unfortunately. But I do feel the fact that we've made it this far, close to a double-digit ROI on the season, I feel like the pressure is off a little bit. I've been on such a good run, too. I receive money every Friday.
That's nice. That's a big time. That's a big time difference. It's going to be nice, Jimmy. I can stop looking at, after this week, I will not look at Aaron Rodgers comeback player of the year tickets on my book anymore. Hopefully. So, I will have to stop looking at that every day now, but who knows?
The past 2 seasons of the Jets, nothing's been funnier in sports. And you had all this hope, and like you didn't just not succeed. It wasn't just that you didn't succeed. It was that it was the worst case scenario. And then
you bring apathy is built here now.
You bring in Devontae Adams, and he shits the bed. It's nonstop laughter. It's just for laughs gags.
Kirk Cousins is going to be the quarterback next year.
Oh God, we get to do this all over again. That would be heaven.
Yeah, I can't wait.
All right, I love it. Ecom Bo, man, says, come down to CR Eskazoo is live, man. Ecom, I would like nothing more than that. My life has changed so drastically since 2017, man. Young family. And but you know what's most important is we're winning, Jose. We're winning. Winning, and winning. And we're in like month 4 now. But we're only 5 days into winning in 2025. So we got to keep that going.
Yep, and don't forget, everyone, tune into the live stream tonight as well for more winning.
Cannot wait for the live stream tonight. Vikings, Lions. I'm so excited. It's going to be so much fun. Jose, thank you to all in the chat. JW says, whoa, Ted Mosby no more. Looking good, Jose. Sandra says, make Jose's hair great again. Rick J took Houston first half -2.5 live. Wasn't that? Now, we got to get home with it, Rick J. It's possible they rest everybody in the second quarter. But I loved how that came together. I really, really loved how that came together. We have the Saints threatening here with a field goal, 4th and 4 here. Let's just see if they get this one in. And they do. So it's 3-0 Saints. It's locked right now. But, I wonder if there might be an opportunity. I don't know. It'd still be minus 10.5 or 11.5. I don't know. We'll see. Jose, please bless. A great job, Philly Eagle Flyer. Jose, please bless our action and lead us into the future.
Yep. Good luck, everyone. Philly Eagle Flyer, saturated plus money. Saturated. You better be at Pubapalooza as well.
Yeah.
Maybe my hair will be as long as it was back then. J-Dub. WT, all you guys. We appreciate you guys. Shout out to you, WT, for the dono. Let's get after it today and let's milk some motherfucking monies or milk some motherfucking bookies.
Touchdown, Texans.
Like Jay, Amos Bookmakers. Good shit.